Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday show. Oops. I'm going to continue to hit my mic as I try to keep it off camera, but maybe I'll just raise it up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, well, it's time to work on an FAQ. So everything we're going to discuss today is stuff I've thought in great detail. So I'm ready to pin down. And then I noticed a comment by Ek. This is about minis only or the rulebook FAQ? Well, the funny thing is there, bud, is I hadn't thought about the minis. So what I plan on doing today is I've taken your emails and comments and everything about FAQ, but what's needed to be done. How's it going, Dark Tone? And I'm sending them off. But I don't expect an answer anytime soon. It could be a while before we see the next FAQ. That being said, it could show up tomorrow, and then this whole video is meaningless, but we're going to do it anyway. But so I'm going to write down a document of everything that we're going to use at Mountain Miniatures to handle ambiguous situations. And I'll have it linked in the description of every video I do, so you can click on it and see why we're handling things the way we're handling things. We'll have them like go into a lengthy explanation every time something comes up. But before I write it down one final time, it always is good to have one final conversation. Now, anything that is, no, not house rules, Drew, more of, a document explaining why we've come to these conclusions. So that being said, if anybody has a valid argument that has not been brought up in any previous discussion in the past, and it makes me change my whole thinking, I will run everything past Luca before we go solidify the document. I think it is only fair that Luca has a final say in the last document as well. We'll let Michael also have a skim, but he doesn't understand the game, so Michael. No, that's it. So we're gonna, and then we'll also go over some miniatures if they need to be looked at or addressed. Heck, I'm not sure of anything that needs to be addressed with them, but that just means I haven't come across it yet. And then one more thing. Oh yeah, so tonight, usually I do this for about 4 hours. Today's time is going to be undetermined. I have to go leave for a birthday party, but I might not have to be there till a certain time, so I'm waiting for a text, and then we might be able to go the full time. How's it going, Scary? I haven't seen Scary in weeks. We're never on the same schedule. How's it going, brother? Column of Crystal flyers can move over. No, I believe that is covered in the. That's covered somewhere. I think it's in the first FAQ. Vortices are considered to be infinitely high. So yeah, you have to fly around them. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Oh, I probably should put it on my PC, but I'm gonna open up a notepad so I can start typing these things out. Otherwise, I just realized that everything I have is currently on my phone. We got the rule book opened up here when we need it. In fact, actually, there's a better document. How's it going, Oliver? There's a better document people can use, and I don't know if Flammable Hero is here already. Can you link it in the chat? I meant to do that. So there's Flammable Hero. Well, there's some people out there who've worked on a nice website that is very easily searchable. It actually works beautifully. In fact, I want to use it in these streams, but I feel people are more familiar with the actual rulebooks, so I put the rulebook on, which is slower to find things in. But there is a document that you guys can use, and when Flammable Hero gets here, we'll get him to link it. That is actually quite good. How's it going, Taraj? So again, once let me just turn on a few things. That is open. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the Discord chat. If anybody, because I know I personally can't make arguments with typing. I just can't do it. I can't make sense. Wait, you know what I'm logged in? No, I'm not. No, I just know that you're always here, and I appreciate you. Yeah, no. If you can link that document where all the rules are very easily sourced. I'll actually put it in the description of the video as well, because it's just too good. And once I do a few streams where I keep referencing it, I'm gonna take off this rule book and just use that website because it's just better. Once I get people converted over to using it. What was I about to say? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Okay, anyway, so the first thing we'll discuss and go over. Oh yeah, sorry, talking about the voice chat. So yeah, I suck at arguing through typing. I can't make the points, and usually sarcasm comes off as aggression. So if you want to join a voice chat, come in and say something, Floppity Biotyper, let's FAQing go. Let's do it. Oh yeah, feel free to join the Discord voice chat. There's a voice chat waiting room. I'll drag you in, and we can you can make your points here live for everybody to hear instead of type. Because I can't tell you guys know how often somebody in chat has to reword somebody else's comment, so I understand it. Well, Ice Hockey Boy, I'm glad you made it here. Oh, who just joined? Spoons! How's it going, brother?
Hey. Not bad, not bad. I'm getting ready for next week. How about you?
What's next week?
Adepticon.
I'm not going.
You nerd.
I told you 1,000 times.
You said you were.
I want to. I do want to. It just doesn't make sense right now.
It doesn't make sense for just Mountain Miniatures to go and Mini Wargaming. One has it covered, and two seems like they're on a budget right now. So
that's the thing, right? So I'm while the channel is doing very well, and I do appreciate all you supporters, I'm hesitant as to overspend at the moment. And when I go, I want to go proper with Luca, and I'm not gonna I want to make sure I can cover his way, the hotel, and everything. So it's a bit of an expense. We will make sure that we are there next week or next year.
Okay.
We'll make we'll do it in a way where we'll do like a meetup so we can actually meet a bunch of you guys there. All right, let's get to the FAQing. What do you think about the size of the Brett Foot Knights, Blaze? I don't. You know what? Honestly, I don't like them. I don't. If you give the great weapons to the Brett Foot Knights, which that's what I did, I don't like the way the models look. They don't. They feel at a place. They feel a little soft, cartoony. If that makes sense. Yeah. They just don't fit the range. They feel like more. They feel more of an Age of Sigmar-esque model, but like not even in a good way. But that's pure. That's opinion, right? Like I still don't like the Votan models for 40K. I actually think they're ugly. I enjoyed painting them, but I don't like.
I get the look they were going for, but I'm not big on 1960s Race to the Moon. You know? Like...
Yeah. No, that's exactly my point. Yeah. That same thing.
Because that is entirely their aesthetic. Is hey, we saw the Mars rover and the lunar lander. Like,
and some people love that. And I'm not trying to hate on the Bretonnian Foot Knights. I think they look significantly better with hand weapon shields. But yeah, they're not for me. Oh, the Nova thing. I'm not saying no. I'm not going to that yet. I'm probably not, but there's always a chance. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to. So many of the questions you guys have sent me were mostly just read all the relevant pages of the rule book. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't bring up any points right now during this discussion. Okay, well, right off the hop. Oh, one more thing. Sorry, this is a little disorganized. If anybody would, or anybody who wants to do this or is willing to do this, make timestamps while you're watching this video. If you're here for only an hour, make timestamps and email to me. I want to hire somebody to break up these videos. So that they're more easily, like, you can go right to the section that you need to do. I looked into it. It doesn't make sense financially right now to do it. But for now, if anybody wants to help out by making timestamps while watching the video, then email them to me afterwards. I can at least put them in the description afterwards, and then people can like find the section they need. But yeah, I will eventually get these videos broken up so they are in more digestible pieces of content where you can get. I
see a lot of videos where someone will post the timestamps in a comment, and then the creator just pins them.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I'm not, because I'm usually here for 4 hours. I'm not expecting anybody to watch it all. So if any section you guys want to do, send it off to me, and I can compile them. And just say, yeah, there's a lot of comments and emails requesting me to do it, and like I want to do it. I did talk to some people about hiring somebody to do the job. I don't believe anybody should work for free, so I want to hire somebody and pay someone to do it. But we'll get there.
So when are you gonna start paying Flammable here?
Buddy, that's a damn good question.
When he lets you, like...
Flammable here, you have a standing invitation, or standing... Anytime you want something painted up, brother, I got it for you. I'll get that done. Okay, so number one is going to be the ever brought up drilled. Well, I know how to handle this question. So one, I believe rules as written. Two things just fell off my wall on the side that you guys can't see. I don't know if you heard that. That's fine. It's just my soundproofing.
Okay.
So I believe rules as written, it does say you cannot charge after drilled. There are people who say otherwise, and I understand the argument. I do not think I am correct, and I do not think they are incorrect. I think it does need to be FAQ'd. The intent is I have no idea, but I know how to handle it going forward for the channel. Drilled. Whoops, I keep hitting the mic. When I hit the mic, you guys hear that?
Not aggressively. I didn't notice. I'm sure someone can pick it up.
Cannot charge. So the reason why I'm making the call of cannot charge, and I never want to be a guy being like, this is how it's going to be handled because this is how I prefer it or whatnot. The reason why I'm saying you cannot charge on my channel is because everybody else who has brought up the discussion, every other TO I've talked to or organization, yes, we hear it. No, we don't hear it. Interesting. So everybody else
I'm sure someone can hear it, but it's not abrasive.
Fair. So people are handling it almost the same way universally. I know in small pockets, obviously a little different in your local gaming area. Teapot, how's it going, brother? So the first part of the sentence is kind of split. I think you can, or I think you can't, but the next part, everyone's kind of doing the same. We are just choosing not to allow it until it gets addressed. So when universally the community starts to go, the majority lean, we think maybe you can or maybe you can't, but we're not going to allow it until, kind of is telling to me, which means everybody thinks it's going to get ruled that you can't. So, right now...
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No. If you have something to say, please.
This is more of a general statement. My stance when it comes to things that aren't properly defined, if it's a universal rule, I think you are obligated to assume the result that benefits you less. When it's like a unit special rule, there's a bit you can have some debate in there because then you're arguing, are the points worth it kind of stuff. But if it's a universal rule, you have to go with what doesn't benefit you.
That's kind of how the community handles these things as a whole. So we'll go to drill number one. Boom, can't do it. I bet the rules, Nico. Just always turn the pot. Appreciate you too. FAQ could be that models with lumbering don't use +1 combat resolution, but adopt all the rules in close order formation because they don't need to be in combat order. That one does not need to be FAQ, Lorenzo. That one is clear in the rules that a lumbering model does get +1 combat resolution. That one does not need to be FAQ'd, in my opinion. Well, if enough people are confused about that answer, I guess it needs to be FAQ'd, but I think the answer is clear in the rule book. Clear is a word I used that isn't exactly the best word to use. I think the answer can be defined in the rule book, so it can use clarification, but doesn't need to be FAQ'd in my opinion, but it probably does need to be FAQ'd. But you know what? I'm going to go with that. People say it enough. So this is lumbering. So that was what you just witnessed there was my own bias. I decided it does not need to be FAQ'd. The answer is clear when enough people are asking the question, so the answer is not clear. So it does need to be FAQ'd. You guys gotta. I'm totally okay with it. Catch me on my call me on my biases. So yeah, so lumbering will be the second one. It's not on my list, but I'll put it up there because it is a question that it does come up often. I can go in the rule book and break it down if necessary. Let me know if you need me to do that, anybody. But it does say lumbering uses all the rules for close order, even though it only has one model, and one of the rules for close order is +1 combat resolution. How's it going, Alan Cotton? It's been a while. They need to let all Cav use the wedge formation that Bertoni uses. No. Willard, see, that's this thing. Why do you say lumbering isn't clear how much is shared with closed order? Because it says all. But you know what? I gotta not be biased, right? Let's go and check out lumbering. No, I wish I knew this book better. Well, not that I know that better. Well, the order. I think it's before War Machines. Yeah. Lumbering, you see page 195. Perhaps due to their large size or combination, blah, 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 blah. A lumbering model is considered to be and follows all of the rules for close order, even when included in a single model. So what's the confusion?
That seems as straightforward as you can get.
Yeah, this is why this is like, even though a lot of people are asking this question, to me it seems, boom, like straightforward, clear as day.
Anytime you see the word "all," that's kind of decisive. You know, there's no question that he's asked.
Yeah, yeah. But I will give him a couple seconds to respond. I know there's a nice chat delay. Can a dragon move its full movement backwards to do the fly ability? No. It cannot, Gerald, but I am open to an interpretation or rules question as to why you think they could. Fly is essentially just a movement that can ignore terrain and models. That's all it does, with a different movement value. But you still have to follow all the rules for fly, or all the rules for movement. Close order only gives +1 if you have more than one model. Yeah, okay, sorry, hold on. Sorry. This is the thing, Mr. Fancy Pants. You gotta read. I stopped reading the sentence, but you gotta keep reading. I'll read it again. To represent this, a lumbering model is considered to be and follows all of the rules for close order formation, even when included in your army as a single model. The part where you have to be 2 models in the close order formation is clearly stipulated right there, even when you're a single model. All close order have to be possible formation. All close order have to possible formation. Lorenzo! I don't know what you're saying.
Let me see if I can interpret.
FAQ, do you gain initiative bonuses the following turn getting a charge after pursuit even though you didn't move? Do you gain initiative bonuses the following turn from gaining charged after pursuit move even though you didn't move? But if you do pursuit move, you moved. Adrian, I'm not following you because when you do a pursuit move, you are moving. Also, if you know what, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna have to say this numerous times with the videos because people come in and out. It's hard for me to tell when you guys are talking to each other in chat and when you're talking to me. So if it's something you want me to address or a question you're asking me at mountainminiaturesgaming, is the only way I'm gonna know you're talking to me. These might be your favorite parts, but your whole rule is important too. I don't know what you mean, Flammable Hero. I'm not sure if Flammable Hero is mocking me.
No, he's not. He's
I know,
called out the. Yeah. Let's see. X's hobby stitch, marching column, and drilled. Why is marching column allowed to declare a charge?
When it's senseless, X. My belief on that, and I have nothing to back this up, but it makes complete sense to me. My belief is at one point during the iteration of the rule book, you could charge in marching column. You just wouldn't get in your combat bonuses, no ranks, all that kind of stuff. And then at a later draft of the rules, they decided to remove the ability to charge after marching due to some playtesting, and then didn't remove the wording everywhere in the rule book because every rule in this rule book is in 3 different spots. That is my belief.
Ever so slightly different every time.
Yes. Yes. Initiative bonuses only gets the bonus on the turn in which you move. What page, Adrian, does it say that? If it actually says that somewhere, then that's something that has to be addressed. Also, There's other, if I once you quote me that page, there are other things like I'd have to go look up that would solve the problem. FAQ: Is it legal to embed a prophetess on a unicorn inside? Inside a lance formation. Yeah, if you can't find a rule preventing it, you're probably fine, my dude.
Yeah, giant pie. Most people, I think, skip the last sentence where even if it's a single model.
Wait, close order. Close order. Giant pie, are you trolling? Wait, you didn't at me? You didn't at me? I probably not following the full conversation. Yeah, I know.
It's broken up over so many posts. I had to take a minute to follow it.
That's the problem. Not only is every rule in 3 spots, but also the index is point. I know, brother. I agree. All the rules for a single model follows combat order, so +1 marching column, or none for not +1. I don't believe marching column gives you +1.
Let's see. Gerald Vaughn.
Maybe a dumb question.
Got Vile-Tide, Fireballed, and Wind Blasted by my Great Gray Shaman. He was about to die, so he moved backwards 9 and pivoted away, so I couldn't move up 5 and finish.
Oh, so no, a giant pie. See, I actually knew that, but I'm trying to give an example as how I get very confused by the comments. I actually read. I can't read every comment; it's impossible. But I actually read your other one, so I followed the line. But I was trying to point out if I just read one comment, it can be very confusing. But yeah, I know what you're doing, brother. A Tomb King Dragon on Vile-Tide, Fireballed, and Wind Blasted by my Great Gray Shaman. He was able to die. He moved backwards 9, pivoted away, so he couldn't move up 5 and finish. A TK Dragon got Vile-Tided. That's like 5d6 strength 1 attacks, Fireball 2d6 strength 4 attacks, and Wind Blasted by my Great Gray Shaman. That's a lot of wounding on 6s re-rolling. I'm assuming you have the Hag Tree fetish. He was about to die. He moved backwards 9 and pivoted away, so he couldn't move up 5. Oh, I'm following. Yeah, if I'm following what you're saying, what he did was illegal, and then the Warhammer police will have to send out a warrant for his arrest because you cannot fly backwards 9 inches. You could have turned and flew back 3/4 of the 9, which I'm not doing the math right now. I get you, Will. I get you. See how easy it is for me? I see now. I didn't know you were doing that. See, that's the thing. So easy for me to misunderstand. Okay, so I've not got a page number about that initiative thing. Okay, here's a new one. It's at the top. I don't know why it's at the top of my list. So command range. This is a funny one because this was a new one pointed out to me that I hadn't thought about. And then my gut said, "Oh, that's not intentional." And I explained it to Luca, and he goes, "Oh, interesting. No, my gut is that's exactly what they mean." I'm like, "Oh my god, how are we on the exact opposite on this?" I don't care which way this is ruled, and rules as written, Luca's interpretation is correct, and we'll go with that, I think, but I'm going to talk it out here. All right, Warmaster, let me finish up this one, so, and then I'll get to yours. So, actually, let's see. Okay, so refusing a challenge. Where is it exactly? Here we go. If you refuse a challenge, your opponent is to nominate one of your characters to send in the back. Let's say it's my general or my BSB. Doesn't matter which one. Same outcome. You send my general or BSB to retire to the back. Cannot make any attacks, and have attacks directed at them. Can't be done. And confers no bonuses to the unit in the form of leadership, special rules, or anything else. Now, the or anything else is the contentious part, I would say, but it doesn't say they use their... Sorry, hold on. Confers no benefits to the unit in the form of leadership, special rules, or anything else. It doesn't say they lose their command range, so that means if you issue a challenge, I refuse. You send my general to the back of the unit. The unit can't use his leadership, can't use any of his special rules. Same Empire, can't use hold the line, all that kind of stuff. But he doesn't lose his command aura, and other units within 12 inches may still use his leadership, or the BSB gets sent to the back. He doesn't lose his command aura, command range, and other units may still reroll tests, like the banner allows. I thought that was, that's probably not intended. And Luke goes, that's probably intended.
No, that actually, from a written and a flavor standpoint, that makes sense to me, because
really?
the other
Okay.
units don't know that guy retreated.
That's exactly what Lucas said. Huh.
I can understand where it might get confusing ruling, because you'll have to explain that it still affects every time, but it tracks.
Okay, well,
I feel bad for the TOs with that rule, but
that's the thing.
It makes sense.
I believe I believe most people are playing otherwise.
Yeah. I think otherwise is easier to remember and will make for a faster game, but it makes sense how it's written.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it in that doesn't lose command range when refusing. But this is gonna be one of those things that I would. Now I was about to say I want to see it FAQ so it doesn't work that way, but I guess maybe I don't.
Well, I mean, it still could end up getting FAQ'd where it doesn't work that way. Just as written, it makes complete sense, and again, from a flavor standpoint, it checks out enough.
Well, I do have a couple of things in my FAQ thing that is more of a. Do you mean it to work like that? This is clear as day how it works. Do you mean it to do this? And that's
what you meant. Yeah.
We think that's exactly it. I shall get my just the next RTTA. Buddy, you know what? Gerald, I got bad news for you, brother. You did something wrong in the game as well. You used the rule incorrect in the game as well. Happens every time. Here's a funny one. Does Plague of Rust work on a ward save? Ward saves use armor value, and no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm going to pull that up real quick. And if I don't address your FAQ question, feel free to post it again, because I'm going to miss them. It's going to be under shooting. I think shooting is the first place we see the ward save rule. There it is. Flammable Hero, send me a link to in the chat, because it's just better. Someone says I need new mods. Give me an example as to why I need new mods. I think the mods do a fantastic job. If you got a beef, let me know, and I'll.
Who's griping at the mods?
I don't know. I saw it, and I know, right? I think once again I want to thank my bots who are doing a fantastic job policing this ever-growing community. You guys are. I super appreciate you guys. Ward saves represent magical protection offered by enchanted talismans or suit of armor. Armor value of a ward save will always be shown in either description. What the hell? The difference is a ward save is never modified by the AP characteristics of a weapon. Well, that is going right on the list. Can anybody think
definitely needs it.
No. This is an example of one of those ones where I think clear as day. Plague of Rust. Wait, hold on. Let's not do the thing where I criticize other people for doing it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think, clear as day, it's an armor save, so anything that affects it. As long as it's not modifying the characteristic, but I don't think that's how it's intended to be.
It's under elementalism, right? Plague of hit my mic. Until your next turn phase, the target enemy suffers -2 modifier to its armor value. What? Plague of Rust works
like AP. It's not AP, so it technically does reduce.
What? Okay. Why is here? I thought I found everything. Ward save. I actually don't know.
Rules as written, that's clear as day, but that can't be what they meant.
I'm gonna put works.
Yeah.
Damn, okay, I'm gonna scroll to the bottom. Means I'm gonna miss. Okay, there you go. See that link Flammable Hero just posted in chat? If you want to reference rules, that thing is the best thing you could use.
It is fantastic.
Reman!
Very well, if you just want to Google the rule, as long as you have the name right, it'll pull up as well.
Can you explain to me look at many and how rank bonuses work on lance formation. How many knights would you need? 10 knights, Riemann. The rules do not change for rank bonuses in a lance. What I think you're doing, and other people are confusing, is in the past, in different editions, the lance would give you ranks for every rank of models, even though there are less than. In this edition, heavy cav and their heavy cav, they need 4 models in a rank to get a rank bonus. So when you have 10 models in a lance, the 4th rank has 4 models. That will give you a +1 rank bonus. If you add another rank of 4 models, that's +2 rank bonus. But rank is, you need 4 models in a rank for heavy cav. So a lance with 6 models, 0 rank bonus. A lance with 10 models, 1 rank bonus. Page 220, armor value implies equipment as armor. Let's go check that out real quick. Yeah, you're right. That is definitely right. Definitely tells you that's armor. The only problem is, I'm going to go back here to make sure I have weird biases. Because we all got them.
Well, here's the thing. Especially if you're buying a magic item, that's your equipment. You're back into...
Sometimes they got to go over areas more times than one to process them properly.
I mean, I got 3 tabs going, one with Plague of Rust, then Ward Save, and Armor Value.
I don't think it's that big a deal. It just makes that really good spell even better. The armor value of a ward save, it's armor value. The armor value of a ward save.
Equipment or whatever equipment they come built in with, that ward save is part of their equipment. So it's... And
yeah,
to argue the other side, even if that was referring to just equipment, like it was implied, it's just armor, like there's some way, I think we're in the same ground as a scattering, where rules as written, that's not how it is. That might be how it's intended, but rules as written, it's not how it is.
War Master, I did not know you were in the waiting room. I didn't notice it. Sorry, bud. You have something to...
Nobody. I'm only here to sow further confusion to that whole ward save thing.
Oh, good.
Because once you really start reading what the text actually says, is an armor value is a target number you need to hit in order to pass. And Plague of Rust says you minus to that. So, right, you get a minus bonus. And so if you have, let's say, a 5-up ward save, now it gets a -2 effect. And so now you would technically get a 3-up ward save. I know nobody should ever play it that way or wants to ever play it that way. But I just think it's hilarious that these kinds of things are in there.
There would be a 6-up, 4-up scenarios with that.
So I think we don't have to address that. Once we realize we're talking about a hex, we know it's not going to improve your ward. We're good.
Yeah. Well, but I thought it was just hilarious because in the rules, like armor piercing does work as intended, because armor piercing actually gives you a negative modifier to your roll, and so that would work, right?
Yeah.
But since armor value is actually a target you need to hit, any negative modifier is actually a bonus in that regard. It's stupid.
So does anybody disagree? Rules as written, the Plague of Rust works as a negative to ward save.
It's modified characteristic, not the saves.
Purely raw.
Yeah.
Nobody I talk to can really. Nobody disagrees, but everybody wants to disagree because we all know that this spell is kind of intended to be just a negative to your armor modifier, because otherwise this spell would be bananas good.
See, here's the problem. I'm trying to pin down how we're going to handle FAQ type stuff. So now I got to take this one, and I got to put it in a separate section because I don't know how to handle it. No, I have to play rules.
Well, you know how to handle it because rules as written is clear as day, but...
Yeah, you're right. You know what?
Yeah.
I think, you know what? For this, call me if you think I'm being that guy on this. I'm going to say on my channel, it's going to Plague of Rust will modify your ward save in hopes that enough people see it's a problem that it gets addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it raw. It's actually pretty solid. You can't really argue against it raw, but it just feels way too damn powerful if I cast a -2 to your armor, -2 to your ward save, pretty much negating any ward save any unit really ever has, because it's very rarely that anything has like a 4 ward save. And so if you have a 5 ward save, it's gone now. And you have a -2 to your armor, you get it completely obliterated with anything that I then throw at you.
Which is, I don't think that's necessarily bad.
Regen for the win? Question mark.
Right. You always get your regen. A few of the comments that you guys are pointing out are already on my list. That's why I'm not reading your comment about the rules FAQ question, but I'll come back around to it. Somebody keeps pointing out page 146 for the initiative thing. I'm there, and I can't remember why we're doing this. Okay, +1 initiative per full inch moved prior to making contact to a maximum +3. Where does it say on your turn? Of that turn to a maximum of 10. Now I do believe when you do a pursue or follow-up mode, actually we go to pursue. This will solve the question.
I mean, Flebble here, just to discuss that, reading the flavor text for the spell, and still reading how ward save says armor, like even if it still lines up.
No, it doesn't make sense because it's ward and not armor. But yeah, armor. Simply put, armor value is a target number you need to hit. But it doesn't make any sense. Like from the standpoint of previous editions, nothing ever really negatively affected your ward save.
Does regen mention armor value?
No, actually, it's a good question. Because
it seems like it does.
If so, it's gone now. Like that will make, I hope not, because that will make that spell.
That does it, Steve.
Yeah.
It reduces your regen save.
Wait, what? Does it really? Why?
Yeah, a model with the special rule can have a regeneration save. The armor value of a regeneration save.
Oh.
Come on!
I think at this point, what's going to happen is we're going to see an FAQ on Plague of Rust, not the other stuff.
Yeah. So I would now. No, I don't want to be biased about this. I now want to see Plague of Rust have a FAQ saying does not work against ward or regen. It's Plague of Rust.
Yep. Yeah, I know. But you know what, Steve? If you have a special amulet and I turn it into rust, your special amulet might not work so well.
Yeah, and just so we're not forgetting everything, covering all our bases, don't forget this also deletes your Feel No Pain, because that's a ward save.
Okay, well. Wow, that spell just got really, really good, and it wasn't even on my list.
That Elementals just got busted for that spell alone.
I was running down the initiative from Pursue.
And it's level 2, you don't even have to pay for an upgraded wizard deck.
Best spell in the game.
X's, I hope they allow somebody who was not involved in the playtesting process to read through the rulebook before they release the next one. But I also think that should be done for every Games Workshop book. Okay, I can't. There's a part somewhere that says we're pursuing into a fresh enemy counts as a charge. Once I find that, like, you can very much you have to count the charge. I'm not concerned about the follow-up pursue not giving you initiative bonus, though. I guess we do have to run it down. It's less of a concern for me. I'm not moving off of it, but somebody find me the page where it counts as a charge so I can.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to bounce, but it was fun talking about the ward save thing.
Hey, appreciate it.
Kyle, don't
Bye-bye.
forget, if the base attack has an AP value, that first 6 up is just
Hey.
gone.
Steve, are lumbering units in combat order or marching? They're in close order. Cool enough. That one, it's on my list of needs to be FAQ because people are confused. But that one, I think, is, in my opinion, is a clear answer in the rule book. They are closed order. All right, so let's go on to my next one. What's my next thing? Oh, okay. So number 4 is actually close order or open order single models. I put a lot of thought in this one, and I just kind of like, we all know how it's gonna get. Okay, so a single Tyrannoc chariot has open order. There's a rule that, well, there's a paragraph in the formation part of the rulebook says all models must adopt the formation. A single Tyrannoc chariot cannot adopt any formation. I have decided not to deploy any single Tyrannoc chariots, any single Snotling pump wagons, any single Razor Gore. And then I thought about it, I'm like, this one I'm very confident how it's going to get ruled. So the FAQ came out in an attempt to address this question. And in my opinion, I think they just made a mistake in the way they wrote the answer to the question, because they're talking more about marching columns with them. So it is my belief that a single chariot, any single model with open or closed order can still deploy and play the game. It's just they need FAQ to explain that in the rules. Does anybody disagree with that interpretation? You can deploy a single Tyrannoc chariot. You can deploy a single Snotling pump wagon. You can deploy, unfortunately, a single Dragon Ogre. All these single models with closed or open order that can't adopt the formation. However, single models like a Behemoth that have closed order, they do adopt a formation. The lumbering rule keeps them out of this problem. The lumbering rule allows them to ignore the needing 2 models, but everything else it doesn't, like a light chariot, for example, a single skeleton chariot for the Tomb Kings. I think they attempted FAQ, they attempted to answer the question, they just did a poor job of doing it, and you can use a single model. That's how I'm going to rule it moving forward. Does anybody have an argument more importantly, does anybody have an argument against that? Is there a distinction between armor save and armor value? Don't make me spend 15 minutes running that down. Can you look up?
I'm on it.
There you go. I don't even understand why that's the problem. Kyle, because I'll actually tell you why. And I actually understand and respect why this is stuff like this coming up. There are a lot of people who don't actually. You got something?
I've got it for ESC. I've got the answer.
Yeah, listen, let me just real quick. There are a lot of people who don't actually get to play the game. So you tear apart the rule book. It's fun. It's fun to like find these kind of things. And if you don't get to play the game, you still get to read the rule book and find issues and stuff like that. So because I play the game regularly, this is an issue that would never come up, because like, oh, we're just going to deploy the single model. But I understand how we get there. And I don't look down upon anybody who looks at these things and say, hey, it's a problem. Because you're right, it needs to be clarified in the rule book. For a lot of people, the hobby is just painting. Some people are playing. For a lot of people, the hobby is just theory crafting list and reading the rule books. And that part of the hobby is just as valid as the rest of them. In my opinion. If you disagree with that, go friends yourself. But no, I think you know what I'm saying.
All right. So, to answer the question about difference between armor value and armor save, make an armor save roll a d6 for the wounded model, and compare it to the model's armor value. So the armor save is just the act of rolling the die, with the additional rule that a roll of a 1 always fails.
Okay.
And then it's described, if you meet it or beat it, you pass. It's just describing the act of rolling the die. So for a ward save, you technically you're rolling an armor save but your target number is your ward value.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. FAQ: if a unit falls back while it's sandwiched, moving through enemies and both the front and rear enemy unit
I'm
pursues.
just gonna ignore Alan Cobb. I've tried to explain it, and he just keeps going.
Sometimes people, it's all right. We love Alan, so it's okay. It's not his fault. He has crayons in his nose. Hold on. People don't.
I get the reference.
I know you do, but people may. Alan is a guy I've spoken to numerous times. We're good. Don't worry, everybody. I wasn't picking on somebody I didn't know. If unit falls back while sandwiched, moving through enemy are both front and rear. Enemies can both make contact. It seems only the rear pursuer could. No. Okay, so Clack here. I think my opinion, what you're doing is you are thinking about 8th edition follow up and pursue. So it's not like the way it used to be. So the Fleer moves 7, whatever, doesn't matter. Runs through a unit, maybe takes a bunch of dangerous terrain, and is then placed. You will roll both your pursues for your 2 units. You probably don't want to restrain one because only one's ever going to make contact. In most situations. This would be better to show with models on the table. But then you roll your pursue rolls. You pivot a unit to face the Fleer, and then you move into them. So basically, oh man, let's say, God, I'm gonna try to do this. My face is the fleeing unit. My 2 hands are enemy unit. I flee this way. I maybe move 10 inches. This unit here pursues to catch me. Maybe it only rolls 2 on the pursue. It catches me. It's not like 8th edition where you have to like catch the roll or whatever. You actually physically move the units X amount of inches. So this unit over here, maybe rolled a 3, it's gonna stop here. Maybe rolled a 10, it's gonna stop here because it still can't go through his friendly units. So these are just regular moves. So you pivot 1. The Fleer can move through models. Your guys can't. The Fleer can move through models. You move that many inches, and then if you roll both of those units to pursue, you must pivot both those units to face the Fleer and move the amount of inches they rolled, not passing through enemy models. Did I make that clear? I don't know if I explained that well using my hands and my face. The hobby's all about Steve and Luca. Yeah, true. Thank you, Max. That's right, too. And for a lot of you, the hobby is watching other people play. And sometimes a couple of men read book or creatures that call themselves men read book. How's it going, Hungry? Olive Hungry?
Man reads phone now.
Man reads phone now, that's true. My face is the fleeing. This is the fleeing unit. These are the... Alright, what's the next one on my list? Oh yes, this one I don't even know how to. I don't know how to word this when I write it down.
Oh no.
Random movement.
Oh, this.
No, this one. I mean, actual random movement.
Oh, okay.
For example, what are they called? What are they called? The squig dudes, mangler squigs. They have random movement. I think 3d6. I roll my or even help abomination. I roll my 3d6. I rolled a 7. I have to move 7.
Yep.
Can I? And then I follow all of the other rules for movement. Can I move forward 1, do a turn, lose a quarter of my movement, move back 1, do a turn, lose another quarter of my movement, and move forward 1. You know what I mean? Or whatever, right? Like,
I think rules is written as long as you're not exceeding the number of pivots you could make. You know,
no, it's more about is random movement, like in every previous edition, which is not a valid argument, meant to displace that you must move forward 7 inches. You're allowed to maneuver, like wheel and stuff, but people are basically using random movement to not move. My helping abomination is basically not gonna. I rolled 666. I rolled 18 inches. I'm just gonna stay on the spot by moving back and forth.
First of all, your Mangler Squig just died, but continue.
I don't. Do they still have that rule?
I don't know, but that's based on what they used to have.
Yeah, but people are using it to basically stay on the spot. And while arguable rules as written, that is accurate. This FAQ, the one that I'm putting together, is about how we're going to handle it moving forward. And I never want to argue rules as intended, because I didn't write the rule, I don't know the intent. Maybe the intent is exactly to do that. Then what's the point of having random movement? So sometimes they go shorter than you want, but they never go longer than you want. Because currently random movement allows you to go shorter than you rolled, but not longer than you rolled. So is the old world random movement meant to allow you to move only shorter than the movement you rolled, and obviously not longer? Is that what we're doing here? I definitely have a bias in this interpretation, and I don't want to make the call. How is the community as a whole handling this one? I don't want to make a, even though I'm making a document to write down the rules how we're going to handle them, I don't want to make a call on this one. What's your gut tell you, Spoons?
I'm reading the random movement
Fair,
rule just
fair.
to be 100%.
You know, maybe we'll talk about 2 rules at a time, because I know a bunch of you are going to be reading rules to bring up arguments. The question is just not open order formation or closed order formation, but when they can be in combat order or marching column, or none. Well, a single model can never be in marching column. That's not a question. The combat order doesn't matter for close order at all on a single model, because you wouldn't get the combat bonus. And I don't think open order has that, or maybe it does, but it would be the same answer. Let me just double check open order.
Let's see. So random movement, the only part it specifies is that it has to move. It does not specify that it has to move towards the enemy. It just gives conditions where, like, you can't march or charge. If you make base contact, you count as having charged. That's nice that a unit charges when it has to hold. That's
sorry. Flammable Hero. I forgot. You're right. You can't do turns and stuff. But you can wheel in a circle.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot that. You are right.
Yeah, it specifies they can wheel to change direction. It cannot perform any other maneuvers.
Could you make from Ben, could you make a live video only document so we can keep up with the questions you've answered? That's probably not a bad idea, Ben. Yeah, definitely I'll work on that.
Let me look up Orth and Ramp.
Well, that's partially what I'm trying to do is the document I'm pinning down today will be in the description of every video I put up moving forward. If you want one... Oh, you know, actually that covers exactly what you're asking. But yeah, the document, what I'm working on today will be pinned in every video moving forward. So I just say, go check the FAQ. So the big question is, can you just spin in a circle with random movement? The answer is definitely yes. Should that be allowed? I guess the answer is yes. You can spin and do an in and wheel for the... I don't like it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I have the right to change it, right? You're lucky I'm not on voice chat. I can't join right now, or this would be... I'm going to go back and answer this question from Lorenzo real quick. It was about 4 minutes. Here we go. What is combat order? A close order formation is wider than... It's only for close order, right? Yeah, Lorenzo, I don't think there's an issue here. You're not in combat order. There's no... Let's go, Dale. Yeah, just spin. Yeah, Lorenzo, so yeah, you're not in combat order. There's no reason to expect to be or that you have to be. So I really don't believe, this is going back to question number 4, I really don't believe there is an issue with the single model at all with close or open order. It's just that the wording was weird, but it does actually cause a problem in the game in no way, shape, or form. You actually have to measure it because you only end up facing the same on certain. Yeah, for sure, Nail. But that's not necessarily a big deal for most of these monsters. Also, Matthew from Indie Wargaming started working on a document, which I think he got. We were making fun of him, so he got frustrated and stopped. But if somebody could do this if they had time. You can make a spreadsheet about how wide your base is, to how many inches it costs you to wheel 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 360 degrees. I don't want to do that math all over again, but it can be done. Yeah, it's very true. There's no guarantee, but I mean, once you know the role, like Helping Abomination is 60 millimeters wide. I don't remember how to do the math. Like, what do you have to roll? Assuming you have the space about this big around the Helping Abomination to spin freely, there's no models or terrain in the way, or try to wheel freely. How much do you have to roll to turn around 180 degrees? No, sorry, 360 degrees. If you're not in combat order, you aren't getting correct. They are not getting correct, Kyle. They are not getting +1 combat resolution. A single Tyrannok chariot does not get +1 combat resolution. Single anything without in closed order without the lumbering special rule does not get +1 combat resolution. Two X pi times front arc length times wheel. Yeah. Just somebody else can write it out. I'm not doing that. Combat order says a unit can't be equal models per file as per rank. So lumbering would get. Combat order says a unit can be equal models per file as per rank. Well, that's weirdly enough, your statement is incorrect, but your conclusion is correct. To be in combat order for close order, you must have 2 models. You must have 2 models. Lumbering says you only need 1 model to do it. Don't math at me. Okay, I thought you were saying lumbering things wouldn't be in combat order. No. Lumbering is an exception to the rule we're talking about with close and open order single models. Lumbering is very clear, established, even precedent for this whole conversation. What's next on my list? Even though I'm not happy about the random movement thing. It's Fanatics. So, you know what? We're going to come back to the Fanatics one. Because I'll answer the other one more before that. So 6 will be Vortices. Vortices use templates that move in a random direction use the scatter die. Vortices use scatter die and templates and the scatter rule. So direct hit, they don't move. That one we know the answer to. But the next one is 7. The next one is Fanatics. Fanatics aren't a template. But we have precedent that the direct hit for a Vortex doesn't move. But Vortex tells you to use a template and random movement. For the Fanatic, it tells you to use random movement. Moving randomly tells you to use a scatter die. Turns out the intent is the rule for scatter is for the scatter die. So even a Fanatic doesn't move on a direct hit. It just spins on the spot. Because sometimes his momentum is turning him this way, sometimes turning this way, sometimes he's just spinning on the spot. So Fanatics also don't move on a direct hit. Because they use the scatter die. We allegedly know the answer. Well, we do know the answer. Some people can't accept the answer. That's okay. What was the next one on my list? Obviously, we're glossing over those ones. We don't need to do another 4 hours on that one. Oh! I wonder. Okay, Luca did this one to me. And rules is written, he's right.
Oh no.
BSBs allow you to reroll break tests, and I know why it says that. Okay, so for example, Battle Center Bear allows you to reroll failed rally and panic checks, and allows you to roll break tests. Now, why does it say that? So I rolled a break test, and I rolled a fall back in good order. That is technically a failed break test, but I want to try to not fall back in good order. I want to try to pass the break test and only give ground. So that's why BSB's allow you to roll break tests. Not failed break tests, but break tests. But what he did to me was he passed a break test with his squig hoppers, but he wanted to explode. So he uses Battle Center Bear to re-roll in hopes that he failed, and he did. Hold on a second. Flame Arrow? Exactly. Oh, also, the same sentence of turns out the one page for scatter rules and scatter die. There's the scatter is mentioned twice. There's a scatter die and scatter rules. They actually meant it to correlate. Wild, I know. Anyways, yeah. So this is more of me being a pouty little crybaby after the fact, but I don't like that. But you know what? I'm not going to put the FAQ. I'm going to lead it from my list. That's clear. We don't have to go over that one. I'm going to lead it from this document as well. That was me being petty. Moving on. It doesn't say failed. No, that's the whole thing I said. Unless you're just reiterating what I'm saying. All right, I'm going to take that one off the list. It doesn't need to be there. Oh, the lore familiar. The lore familiar and signature spells. I understand both sides of the argument here. I can't spell. So let's run this one down. So it's under it's levels was where we go? Spell generation. No, it's page 309. I went the wrong spot. No, wait. It's 309. It's not page 309. Elemental is the best lore match. Thank you, Alan. All right, spell generation. Each time a lore magic contains blah, blah, blah. Roll d6, re-rolling any results. The results show. Okay, if you wish, your wizard may discard one of these randomly generated spells, and instead select a signature spell from the chosen lore. So if you randomly generate your spells, you can swap one for a signature spell. A magic item, lore familiar. The order of the lore familiar may not that does not randomly, so you're not randomly generating your spells. Instead, may choose which spells they know from a chosen lore, including the lore's signature spell. Okay, including the lore's signature spell. So a lot of people are saying you can't take, for example, Monsoon. It's a signature spell for the Lizardmen. They can't take Monsoon. I'm gonna go over to the Lizardman book and just check the wording on that, because I've switched sides of my position on this one. Whoops. Why is the document not moving? The wizard with the lore Luscia, a wizard with the lore Luscia special role may discard one of their randomly generated spells as normal. When they do so, they may select either a signature spell from their chosen lore or the one from this one. So people are saying you can't choose your specific lore from your army book when you use the lore familiar. And I agreed with that at first. I think the intent here is to allow both. Can anybody make a good argument as you can't take the lore familiar, sorry, the monsoon, for example, and taking the lore familiar? Can the Dark Elf Focus Familiar be used on an Assailant Mill to be placed in base content of another model? Without looking that one up, Bum, you got to be in the fighting rank to cast an Assailant spell, and the wizard won't be in the fighting rank because it's not in combat. And the Lord, Dark Elf Focus Familiar also won't be in a fighting rank because it is not locked in combat. So that, without looking anything up, that would be my quick answer to that. I suggest that your interpretation of Vortex Scatter thing is bad, assuming rules is intended, so I suggest you go with the little arrow. Mr. Fancy Pants, not only do I
addressed it.
Okay.
I pointed out that we had an entire stream about
Yeah, we
this,
talked
and
about it for 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone concluded we don't like it. It needs to be clarified, but we have to assume this is how it is.
Yeah, so, well, it's not even that. I got confirmation that my interpretation is exactly correct.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
I'm gonna say this aggressively because this is my position. There are people who read the rules for the old world, and then there are people who are trying to use old rules. And in my opinion, Mr. Fancy Pants, you're using old rules. In the old world, it tells you how to use it and tells you direct hit, it does not move. To the point where I had to contact somebody and they confirmed, yeah, these people are they're literally bringing up older. Never mind, I'm not doing it again. There's a 4-hour video about it.
I was definitely in Mr. Fancy's camp until we broke it down to the point where we have to use 2 of the 3 rules for scatter anyway, just to make it function.
Well, the scatter dice only use the rules for scatter.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else in the book. That was their intention. Like, the scatter die is for scatter. Scatter is for scatter die. Like, even the vortices tell you to scatter says sometimes things are required to be placed and then scattered. A vortice does get placed and then scattered. That's
what I was saying. Like, until we realized we have to use 2/3 of the scatter rule to make it do anything, so we have to use all of it.
But then, but I understand the question about, like, well, what about fanatics then? Because they don't get placed and then scattered. Yeah. Because they literally the first time they move, you pick the direction. They literally don't scatter, but it's the scatter afterwards.
Yeah, that's answered by a special rule for their first movement anyway. So
it's okay to stay in one camp even when you're wrong, Giant Pie. It's okay. There's nothing like being stubborn in the face of clarity. You know what? There's nothing wrong with being wrong until somebody proves otherwise, and then you still choose not to change your opinion. Then that's a problem.
Ignorance is fine. Arrogance is your problem.
Yeah, there you go. You put it even more eloquent than I could. Can you get a frontal disruption charge by touching only a front edge of a unit and the flank of a unit? Can you get a frontal disrupted charge by touching only the front edge of the unit and the flank of a unit? What?
I think they're trying to be in the front and in the side at the same time somehow, but I don't know of any base that can pull that off except for maybe a lance formation and a weird convoluted. But then you're not centered, so you're not doing it right anyway.
Oh no, Giant Pie, they wrote the right rule. This is what's hilarious. They wrote it right. You just can't accept it. Man, you know what? Actually, you know what? All right, we're joking around. We're gonna get pulled in the weeds again. We're done. It's over. It's over. It's over. In fact, if you want the last word, by all means, go ahead and take it out. I'm not sure what you're saying, so I have to move on if you want to rewrite it. I have an FQ. Does Bretonian magic item Seal of Paravon ignore -1 hit modifiers? Are argued only ignores weapon skill modifiers. Is it a core item, or is it their document item? Page 46. I was right. The bear the seal of Paravon makes a roll to hit. A roll 3+ is always successful regardless of the target's weapon skill. I don't know what what's the question there? A roll of 3 always hits. There's no Mr. Fancy Pants. Well done, sir. I don't understand the question. If you roll 3 plus, it just hits. I'm gonna reread your question. Try to at me because here we go. I have a few. Does the Bretonian magic item seal up Paravon ignore the -1 hit modifiers? I only ignores weapon skill mod. No, it ignores everything. It ignores if you roll 3 plus, you hit Gage. If you roll 3, it hits. Does the Wand of Jet give you bonus to bound spells? It says +1 to the casting and casting. Wait, +1 to casting roll and casting bound spells is still a casting roll. The Wand of Jet probably gives the wizard. Is the Wand of Jet a core item? Rulebook. Yeah, it is. Wand of Jet. The bearer of the Wand of Jet may apply +1 modifier to any of their attempts at casting or dispelling. So yeah, the Wand of Jet, when the wizard casts a spell, +1. When the wizard uses a bound item, the wizard's not casting the spell, the bound item is. So the Wand of Jet does not work for the Ruby Ring of Ruin, for example. I think they're asking if it's 3 plus or unmodified. It's just unmodified 3 plus. If you have the Paragon, whatever it's called, you roll 3, it hits. It just hits. In fact, that's a damn good item.
It just does.
It just does what it does. The bearer of the seal makes a roll to hit. That's actually a damn good item. It's gonna be hard to fit it in though, because it's your enchanted item slot. It's 35 points. It's not cheap. But the wording affects the roll, not the caster's. But go read the rules for bound item, Gerald. Bound items, the wizards aren't casting it. The item is casting it. So, it doesn't work on the bound item. Where does the seal of Paravon... Gage, you talking about me? When the bearer of the seal of Paravon makes a roll to hit. So, I have a Bretonian Duke. He has the seal of whatever it's called here. He's fighting something with weapon skill 27.
Dragging someone in.
Oh, 1 second. Beat my fur. Let me get this done first. So, he's attacking somebody with weapon skill 27. The guy with weapon skill 27 also has a -3 to hit against him. Then the Duke rolls the attack die. He rolls a 3. And then the roll of a hit of 3 plus is always successful, regardless of the target's weapon skill. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you have to take it to the extreme to fully process. You're saying it says regardless of the weapon skill, not regardless of any hit modifiers.
Hey, Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me run this one down first. No, it does say a 3 is always success. Yeah, it doesn't say 3 plus is always success. Alright, now I gotta look at damn it! I gotta look at modifiers.
So if you want, I can stir the pot even a little bit more.
On this one?
Yes.
Oh, shit, go ahead. Go hit me.
Vampires, they have forget if it's a vampire ability, if it's a magic item they can take, but it says if you fail your leadership test, you can only hit on a natural roll of 6. So then does it always hit on a 3 plus? Or if you failed your leadership test, do you only hit on the 6? So being that one says natural roll of a 6.
Interesting.
You would only be able to hit on natty 6s, whereas one says always, because always is always a keyword that GW likes to use for certain things, but saying not modified or not a natural roll always gives weird clarifications when it comes to dice roll modifications, especially if it just gives a number and then a plus sign.
I don't want to play this game anymore. Damn it!
But Steve, your whole livelihood is built on playing this game.
Guys, I'm gonna go flip burgers. Alright, to modify a dice roll, simply roll the die and then add or subtract the modifier shown, effectively changing the result of the roll. If the rules ever instruct you to divide, blah, blah, I concede. You were right, my dude. I concede. You always hit on a 3+. But if a modifier, I don't know the answer. I legitimately don't know how to answer this one. Always can be modified. I don't know if it can. I don't know. Okay, hit me with a vampire count one again. So failure shifts, you only hit on a natural 6. But this
Correct.
one,
And I think it's a magic item, and the magic item states that you must take a leadership test. If you fail the leadership test, you can only hit on a natural roll of 6. Doesn't say 6+, just says natural roll of 6. Now, if I go back to my TO days when I did 40K, if it didn't clarify natural, that meant it could be modified, period. But different game system, so
yeah.
So, muddies the waters a bit.
I have to fight Mr. Fancy Pants for saying this is the best edition of Warhammer, Big Steve. Yeah, I do think it's the best edition of Warhammer. The FAQ for 8th edition was bigger than the rulebook. That's how broken that one was written. And every other edition had rules of figure it out for yourself. They literally wrote that in the other rulebooks. There's no way to resolve these things, figure it out for yourself. This is no different from this is no worse than any other edition. I would argue this is actually better than most editions. Actually, probably every edition they've ever written. Mr. Fancy Pants. Sorry, as a TO, go ahead. How would you rule it?
So I've never been a TO for obviously fantasy, but it was always for 40K. So when we would have things that would come up that would say, even if it said always, because always is one of those okay, always in thought, there's the end of the thought. It always does it. But if it doesn't say natural or unmodified, it just says 3+ or 4+, whatever. It's just like you got to think about it like an armor value. Armor value of 5+, armor value of 4+. Those can be modified.
So in the case of not the vampire counts, just the case of the seal of whatever it's called, Paravon, I think. It rolls a 3 to hit, something with -1 to hit. Does he hit?
So something like that would modify the dice roll. My thought process would be it would modify that. Because basically it's saying, if you're a weapon skill, say 2, you normally hit on 5s, well now you hit on 3s.
Yeah, I disagreed at first, and I was arrogant about it, but I do right now I sit at that -1 to hit. The seal of Paravon means he has to roll a 4. He ignores weapon skill. Like his target goal is 3+. That's my take on it.
That would be mine as well. And like I said, always is usually one of those keywords that you hit and then it stops and there's nothing else. But being that after always, it doesn't say unmodified or natural, or just say, if it would have just said you always hit on a 3, no plus sign, I think it would always hit on a 3 no matter what. Because it's saying you always hit on a 3, not 3+.
The more interesting question, garbage can, yeah. The more interesting question is, so against the vampire counts, field leadership check, only natural 6, and then always on a 3. I actually know how I would handle it, but how would you handle it?
Well, being that the one for the vampire count says on a natural 6 is the only way you hit, that would be the way it is. You only get to hit it on the natural roll of a 6. So as long as you fail your leadership test.
As a TO for other games, let me explain what he's saying is, because yours says always instead of a natural, it can be modified. So the vampire count has to be a natural 6, modifies your rule, is what it's boiling down to. If I'm following that right.
See, my gut would have said. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, my thought would be, being that it states natural, you have to roll a 6 to hit, period. Even though the other one says always, but it doesn't state natural, unmodified, hit on 3, it says 3+, which allows, in my opinion, that to be modified to 3+, 4, 5, 6+, if you're -1, -2, whatever.
So how I would have, if this conversation never came up, how I would have interpreted it would be they both happen, like the magic stack, at the same time, so the active player decides which one's going to be first. So on my turn, I'm the Plutonian player. On my turn, I hit on a 3. On the Vampire Count player, I hit on a 6. On his turn, I hit on a 6. That's how I would have interpreted it.
My magic brain went there for a bit. I did the same thing, but
all right, I'm putting it on the list.
Interesting one.
This is why Vampire Counts are a legacy faction.
yeah.
All right, I'm heading back to listen to the stream. Thanks, guys.
Yes, I'm thinking with what he was saying about
It's on the list, guys.
always 3+. That means it can be modified. So that means if you gave a unit +1 to hit, they'd always hit on a roll of a 4 because it'd be modified. You know?
Noam Chomsky, who has one of the greatest names in all of the internet, says
It's a great
natural. I know, natural always. So natural trumps always.
I'm kind of in that boat because my thoughts are always going to be, well, I'm following the active, not active player like you do with Magic Brain, but in my thought, the active player is always the one doing the attack. You're the one doing the thing. So if you're rolling, you're active player. So yours happens last.
This wasn't on my list, and I don't want. I don't want to think
Which
about
would
it anymore.
actually, if yours happens last, that means yours is the one that overrules, which is another thing.
So the next thing on my FAQ, this one we don't need to discuss. I'm letting you know I'm setting this question off. I already have. Waiting for an answer, but it's something that rules as written we know the answer to. It's something that I'm looking to get the game to change. I believe it's the right thing. It's probably the intent. So it's basically move through cover. So move through cover means you ignore the penalty of movement value when moving through difficult terrain. So when you move through woods or difficult terrain, you're -1 to your movement value. But when you charge, you still have to take the lowest die on the charge roll, even if you have moved through cover. That's clear as day in the rules. I wonder if that was an oversight and not intended. There's nothing to do here. I'm not going to play it differently, but that is on the list of things that I'm hoping to get a different answer on. That wasn't the intent. If you take lore familiar and the wizard does it allow you to take the signature spell from any lore, can you select the faction lore? Yeah, so Bum, I've already answered that question. My interpretation is the answer is yes. I do understand both sides of the argument, but we're saying yes on this channel unless otherwise clarified. How would I interpret it if when playing Tomb Kings hit on a 3+ when I'm playing Vampire Counts hit on a 6? Oh, yeah, giant pie. That's the best way to handle it, you son of a...
You know? That's not... So, the thing
100% flammable hero!
The thing that always makes always on a 3-up, that's a spell, right? I missed the start of it.
The thing that hits on a 3-up? No, that's a magic item.
Oh, magic item? Okay. Oh, I was hoping if it was a spell, it'd make it so much easier because the spell would win. Because it would always be, following the stack, it would always be the newest thing. But of course, they both have to be done before the game starts.
How do dwarfs take a BSB that has a standard rune of, say, 85 points? I'm pretty sure they just do. I don't think there's an issue. But now I gotta check to see if there's some sort of issue. It's probably up here. The Battle Standard pair can purchase standard runes with no points limit. There's no they can go to as many as they want. They can make a 200-point banner if you want. You know what? I have, just because the sarcasm of Flammable Hero and a Giant Pie, my mods who are always working against me, I'm going to have somebody else have full control of the document, and I won't have the option to change anything. I will never I will never have the power. In fact, which one of you wants to volunteer to control the living document that will have on the Google Drive now, and I will not have editing privileges? Who wants it? Bunch of bitches. The next one is something, again, I want rules as written. We can follow the answer. I actually think, and I hate arguing this, I actually think it's probably not the intent. And I need to talk this one out before I figure out how I'm gonna handle it. I actually know which way Luca wants to handle it. So a Vortex. Oh, wait a second here. Giant pie. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I can't win here. Okay. I gotta trust my mods. I gotta trust my mods to do the right thing. Okay, Vortex. There is a Vortex. Let's pick one. Let's go to the rule book. I'll probably go to Battle Magic is the easiest one to do. We have on the table, we have a column of fire, pillar of fire. It's directly in front of me. I want to charge. I charge right through it. It is dangerous terrain, I'm assuming. What does this thing do? Raise of play, small blast, center hold control of the caster. Is treated as dangerous terrain, and the template moves d6 in a direction chosen by the caster at the start of every turn subphase. Any unit, friend or foe, the moving template touches or moves over suffers d3 plus 3, strength 3 hits with an AP of -2. These hits have the flame attack special rule. So you could charge directly over a template, do the dangerous terrain, and it doesn't take any damage. That's rules as written. I don't think that makes sense. If you're going to charge through a pillar of fire, you got to be hit by the pillar of fire. And there's a line here, which I think is probably the grammatical error they made. Any unit, friend or foe, the moving template touches or moves over, suffers d3. Once a template touches a unit, it has to move over. So there's no or there for the template. I got to believe they meant anything that a moving template touches or a unit that moves over is what they meant to say there. It always goes back to magical vortexes. So how are you guys playing in your games? If you charge or walk or march over a pillar of fire, are you taking damage? Are you guys rolling a d3 plus 3, strength 3, AP2 damages on that unit? So you're already taking a dangerous terrain roll, so it isn't cost 3. Yeah, but the dangerous terrain roll is insignificant in comparison to the rest of the spell, right? Does a unit bounce through it? No, a unit can stop on top of it, and that's the next question. So, this even came up in a game Luke and I played for mini wargaming, a handheld game-ish, where I had a unit of demigryphs. I think it was demigryphs. Something fled, and they stopped directly on top of a template. They took the dangerous terrain, but the template didn't do any damage to them. And then the next turn, I think I rallied, but didn't move or didn't. Either way, one later turn in the game, I was standing directly on top of one of these templates, and they were like, "Oh, I guess I don't take damage," and that doesn't seem accurate. Balls you move, but I take damage. Yeah, I feel like I should have took the damage, and that's the way I want this question to be FAQ'd. That's the way I want it to be ruled. And what I want to do on this channel, unless people can give me some pushback that makes sense, I want to play that if you move over a vortex, or you choose to stand on, if you're on a vortex at the start of turn subphase, whatever, you're going to do damage from being on the touching the template, you're taking damage. Does anybody disagree with that? I know that's me house ruling the game. But this makes sense, right? What if they have amazing dodge skills? Well, I don't think demigryphs in the situation I was in have amazing dodge skills.
But can they dodge a wrench, Steve?
Nico, I love that movie. That's one of the few comedies I love. I love that movie so much.
It's so good.
Nico, we're going to get to that one. It's on my list. Every one of the malls, the unit roll natural 20. How Woods works in terms of hardcover. No, okay, no, sorry, we're not coming. I was waiting for pushback on this. Is it the correct rule? No fights here. Yeah, I know. It just seems. I want to play Jurassic Park with a Pillar of Fire. Yeah, Pillar of Fire is a T-Rex. So long as you don't move, this whirling, spinning fire doesn't burn you. It just takes me out of the game.
It's vision's based on movement.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My opponent would take the damage from moving over the vortex, but I wouldn't because... See, Kyle, you're not helping. Dangerous terrain covers the fire damage. Yeah, I just don't feel like it does. But that's an argument. Should apply to any Maula's units that pass over or ends its move on. Yeah, see, Cora, that's my interpretation. If a unit fails its charge and ends its movement underneath the vortex, when it's the vortex turn to move, it rolls a hit. What do we do?
You know what? Let's just use Cloud of Dagger rules. let's refer to D&D. If it moved into it or started its turn there, it takes damage.
Oh, and that was another one. That was another one. So when the vortex was on at one point, this all happened in the same game. At one point, the unit was standing on the vortex. It rolled a direct hit, and we know that vortexes don't move on a direct hit. I'm like, well, that's dumb. Like it's a spinning ball of fire. It should still do damage to me. See, I never help. FAQ for advantage? No. Every time this has ever come up, has been a negative for me. No, actually, you know what? It was for advantage because my opponent was like, "Oh, that's dumb," and was sad every time. Like, well, I want to have a fun game with both players. In my opinion, it's very clear. Units move during their movement phase, so units take damage regardless of how much they move, including nothing. I don't know if that was very clear.
Yeah, but yeah, we can treat it like Lord of the Rings. Like it happens when you activate the mob, like whether you do anything with it or not.
Could I up my sound? My ads are louder? I could up my sound. I'm worried about distortion. I don't know if I like this mic. All right, I'm going to increase my sound. Oh. I literally can't.
Yeah, giant pie, exactly. Moving in a random direction can include not moving, so. But then giant pie, what about your archer unit that stood still? Did they move? Did they always move?
All right. How does that sound? Is that better? Let me know how that sounds. If it's causing distortion, let me know. I think I gotta buy a new mic, but I never remember these things. No rule FAQ to throw in here, just showing love for the channel. Oh, appreciate you. Minor query. Of the three other races, do you have a strong preference over the others? I think... No, I love all three, actually. Right now, the first time I like all three of them. Like, equally. All three of them have sat in my favorite and my least favorite at one point or another already this edition. I think they're actually different, actually have their own unique strengths. I like where all three elf armies are standing. It's a fair assessment, I agree, but when we are veering into house rules, do you want your document to contain house rules or rule clarifications? Yeah, I know. See, Alexander, that's the thing. You nailed it. You nailed it with that. This is something I want to see the game have. It's just better for immersion for me, but there's a clear as day answer. I just don't like the answer. And everything I've argued with people who can't see the clear as day answer about the vortices moving is now you can turn that argument on me. There's an answer. Why are you trying to change it? Because it used to be differently? Well, I can take everything, my whole position on this, I can flip it. I have everything I've said about the whole vortice moving thing. Damn. How's it going, Josh? Yeah, Kyle. Kyle, 100% right, dude. Gotta hate you sometimes. All right, so vortices, I'm just gonna take it off. No, I'm leaving it on. I want them to readdress it, but I guess I shouldn't play it as they do damage right now. I really want to play it that way, though. But, like I said at the beginning of this video, I need to talk to Luca If he feels very, very strongly that's how he wants to play it, I will acquiesce. I will concede to that because, like, I want everybody to have a good time. And if this is going to kill his enjoyment, if he really, really, really just dislikes it, we will put it in as a house rule type thing. But we will explain like this is, why. That being said, I'm not certain that he does feel strongly about it. I know he wants it to cause damage when you stand on it, wants to cause damage when you move, and I agree with him. But we'll see what his stance is on. I'm gonna just take this and move it off my document. Maybe I should share this document to you guys. But maybe it should be on screen. Oh, interesting, Matthew. Interesting. The template itself is a moving template. So if the unit moves over, then they touch it. Hold on. No, you're right. It does actually work that way. The template is a moving template. You do take the damage.
Did we actually find a simple solution to a complicated
Well,
problem?
yeah, no, sometimes you just got to rethink what you're like. Yes, exactly that. It is a moving template. When you touch it, you are taking the damage. Matthew, thank you so much for that. We came to a not all templates move. True, but I believe Kyle, and we can double check this right now. All templates that move cause damage. Sorry, the ones that don't move don't do any damage. Right? So let's go over them all. So we have a Vortex here. We have Pillar of Fire. It moves. We're good. What's the next template?
You know how Age of Sigmar solved this problem?
How they do it?
They gave the spells bases. But could you imagine how busted it'd be to block all of that movement in Old World?
Vortex of Chaos does damage and it moves. Wait, does it move? Yeah, it moves. So we're good there. Was there already? So I've noticed that almost every time now, except for now this new weapon skill thing, every time there was a rule problem, it is clarified if you look at enough sections from the book. Phantasmagoria does not cause damage. It doesn't move. Elementalism, Vortex causes damages and it moves. Any other Vortex? No. Magic Missile, Magical Vortex. This one doesn't move but doesn't cause damage. We're good. Vortex. Doesn't move, doesn't cause damage. Still good. Large Blast Vortex. Does not move, doesn't cause damage. X Vortex. Moves, causes damage. Yeah, excellent. Who was that? Willard. Appreciate you. If you roll a direct hit, it's not moving. No, it is still moving. It is still, it's still moving. It just doesn't, well, interesting. It does say template does not move. On a direct hit, it might need an FAQ, but I believe that it's going to take damage. But my belief that it takes damage is also a biased belief that that's what I want it to do. All right, what's the next one? Oh, okay. So one question I got kind of a lot, which I thought was clear, but clearly wasn't. Cannons. And then when I started to make an argument for both sides of the argument, I'm like, oh, wow, I can't definitively say for sure which way this is going to go. So, cannons. Well, I think I know the answer. I'm curious how all you guys are playing it. So cannons have a rule called cannon fire. Shows how to fire it. Other cannons, for example, let's look at literally every other cannon. I know ogres have one. Let's bring up ogres. Ogres. Oop. Yeah, Cargats for sure. Send me an email. I'm always willing to help people get in the game. And how to not waste your money on and buy things you don't need to play the game. Or malls that you just never want to play. Where is the Iron Blaster? Iron Blaster. So, where's the rule here? Here we go. Cannon fire. So it follows the rule for cannon fire to fire this solid shot. So cannon fire rules, going back to the rule book, tells you how to fire a cannon. Pick a spot on the ground and roll a 30, all that kind of stuff. And then grape shot is not cannon fire rule. It's just 30 days worth of attacks within 12. So my interpretation was a cannon, like a cannon and a great cannon, dwarf and empire, can fire grape shot, but the other cannons can't. And then somebody pointed out to me, I'm like, wait a second, maybe I can't argue that. Said grape shot is underneath the cannon fire rule. It's not a separate heading. So what's the interpretation there? Can all cannons fire grape shot? Is grape shot part of the cannon fire special rule? To me, it's the grape shot special rule. And it's not, well, there's 5 steps under cannon fire. And then there's grape shot, which to me was a separate rule. Dr. V, just here to waste money with a comment that I don't need to write. Now back to work for me. Have a great day, everyone. Appreciate you, brother. So do other cannons get grape shot? I thought no. And then mostly people are arguing something. They're starting to get something they don't have or something they want. So if I go back over to the perfect example, which is the ogre one, it also has a scatter shot variant. So if every cannon gets grape shot, the ogre cannon has scatter shot, grape shot, and solid fire. If it's a keyword, it's a rule. Well, keywords don't exist in this game, right? It is no keyword, no ability. But are keywords a clearly defined thing in this edition? Like, is grape shot a separate rule? Well, here's the thing, too. Instead of firing normally, cannon crew can opt to fire a grape shot, implying it's different. I say warp lightning cannons, anything that has the cannon fire special rule, with the exception of actual cannons, does not get the grape shot. What's everybody else's take? P1P, Josh. Let me just double check that for you while people are writing in their comments. I love this thing to death, my dude. If it's make sure I give you the right one. You know what? I'm going to go look at my printer and tell you exactly which one it is to be sure. Yeah, it's the P1P. It's awesome. It's the best one by far. Granted, that's an opinion, but Vandal upgrade to peak supporters. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh, look at that red badge. You've been supporting for a long time, dude. Appreciate that. No keyword this game. Instead of firing normally, you've seen all sorts of malls with a turn of attacks that are optional. So are you saying cannon fire? Oh, the keyword here is to tell you that you can't grape shot and shoot normal shot. Yeah, no. So that's a fair interpretation. You might be right. So, in your opinion, a giant pie, can a iron blaster fire a grape shot? I don't care what the answer is. I'm curious as how we should be handling it on this channel. I understand both sides of the argument, and I don't know which one's correct. thus, in my opinion, needing FAQ. I don't think any Ken has grapeshot in his profile. Right. So to define close, the argument from saying that they can't, which I'm not saying is correct, they can't because the Hell Iron Blaster has a rule called Cannon Fire. Cannon Fire is right here. Cannon special rules, Cannon Fire, right here. When shooting with a cannon, work your way through the following steps. Cannon Fire, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And then cannons also have a rule, Grapeshot. Is this included under the Cannon Fire special rule? The answer is, it could be yes. Is Grapeshot under Cannon Fire? Probably. Maybe. Maybe not. That's the question. Is this a new heading? Or is Grapeshot under the Cannon Fire special rule? Because that is... Whoops, I closed off one of my documents. Didn't mean to do that. That is the rule that the Iron Blaster follows. Cannon Fire. I have no idea what the intent would be here. You know what? Let's put a poll. Let's see where everybody's sitting. Start a poll. Look up if you're painting. Hit that poll for me. I want to know what you think. Cannon from page 226 is its own weapon equipment. Grapeshot only applies to it. Iron Blaster has Cannon of the Sky Tons, which is different, and Iron Blaster has its own scatter shot. Yeah, that was my interpretation as well, Flammable Hero. That was exactly my interpretation. So the argument comes down, Flammable Hero, is Grapeshot part of Cannon Fire or not? Cannon Fire is not under the special rules of the Great Cannon either. Well, it tells you to use Cannon Fire. It tells you, like, it's literally under the cannon, Nico. Rulebook. Cannon. Cannon special rules. Cannon Fire. Wait, which one are you? Flammable Hero, I'm not sure. I'm confused what your position is. Is Grapeshot part of the Cannon Fire special rule or no? In your opinion, Flammable Hero. What is the Dwarf and Empire rule? Okay, so we go to Fantasy. I believe it just says Canon. I'm almost positive it just says Canon for these things. And more than one I think it was only two, but more than one person sent me this question. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, right. It needs to be clarified. So it's just a cannon. That's all it says. Equipment, cannon. I really feel that you can. So far, more of you feel that you can than you can't. So Nico says, okay, so I'm going to end this poll. I'm going to reword the question. Start a poll. Is it Grapeshot? Oh crap. Yeah, Grapeshot. Grapeshot. Part of the There we go. Rephrasing the question, please vote again. Is Grapeshot part of the Cannon Fire special rule? Wasty said that I thought they did have Grapeshot rule. Okay, fair. On page 226, under Cannon special rules, it has two. Cannon Fire and... Where did it say that? On page 226? Did I miss that? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh my god. Flammable Hero. Hold on. Maybe I just answered the... Wait, what are you saying? Things like Iron Blaster only use Cannon Fire rule, like monsters have... That cannon specifically says 2 profiles, and only when firing a solid shot do you follow the rulebook cannon rules. No. Sorry, yeah, Matthew. The thing is only when it's the only firing a solid shot. Matthew, I don't like the way you said that. That's not what the rulebook says. It doesn't say only when firing the cannon shot. It tells you has cannon fire, but yeah, it kind of says that, I guess. Honestly wondering why doesn't the great cannon reference the regular cannon in its rules? I think I have an interesting argument I hadn't considered till right now, but let me run this down before I make it. Something has just changed in my head. I'll run it past you guys. Great cannon. Yeah, great cannon. Okay, nothing there. So rule book. Yeah, great cannon's right here. Sorry, cannon fire. So here's the thing, guys. Look at page Inflammable Hero. I want you to weigh in on this. Please weigh in on this, brother. And Giant Pie, you too. Like you guys are my guys. All joking aside, cannon, page 226, special rules, cannon fire. Nowhere does it say under special rules grapeshot. So I think I just switched sides, and I have to end this poll. I have to remake my argument, end the poll. Even though everybody, I think, might have been right twice. Cannon fire is the only rule they have. Grapeshot is a rule under cannon fire. So I think now my opinion is the Hellblaster can do a grapeshot. Anybody disagree with that now? I don't like how close the poll was. Special rules extend to page 227. Look at the book spread. Special rules. Need more nails. So I'm not Flammable Hero. I'm actually not sure. Spoons either.
I can be. Which question?
Will you pay attention? I'm not exactly sure if I'm. I think you can interpret to me, but okay. Flammable Hero. I'm not sure where your stance is. Can Iron Blaster fire grapeshot, Flammable Hero? I switched position to the answer is yes. No, not Hellblaster. Sorry, Iron Blaster. The ogre. What's it called? Ogres have the cannon of the Sky Titans. It has a cannon fire special rule. It can fire grapeshot. That is my interpretation. And that's how I'm gonna write it. Unless somebody can make a. I actually understood both sides of the argument. Now I'm like, oh, now I see a clear answer. Grapeshot is the ability under the cannon fire. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too, Nico. Because the definitive piece, the definitive argument, the definitive piece of evidence is the cannon rules up here have cannon fire, not grapeshot. So either no cannon can fire grapeshot or they all can. So I'm going to write that down now, but I'm still interested in everybody's opinions. Cannons. All in game with cannon fire rule can fire. I don't see how grapeshot is part of the following steps. Oh wait, Jared Paul, you saying the opposite? I thought you were saying the same thing for a second. Feel free to join the voice chat, Giant Pie, or even Flammable Hero. Grapeshot is clearly under the header cannon special rules. Oh, interesting. Is that what you're saying? It's not though, Flammable Hero. I mean, Giant Pie. That's cool. So cannon special rules says cannon fire, cumbersome, move or shoot, multiple wounds. Implying that grapeshot is part of the cannon fire special rule right here. I think toothless. I think you're dead on right. I think the fact that it's a box is confusing for sure. I think the reason grapeshot is not listed under that profile is because grapeshot uses a different profile. If grapeshot was listed there, you could do a strength 8 AP2 grapeshots. Fair point. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. But yeah, that's a damn good point. And now I'm back to I don't know which way it works. Look just above Cannon Fire Special Rules. It says Cannon Special Rules above it. Cannon Special Rules. Cannon Fire. Yeah. I don't know what point you're trying to make, Giant Pie. So, Cannon Special Rules are Cannon Fire. Here's how they are. And then are you saying Grapeshot is part of the Cannon Fire Special Rule?
Well, maybe there's more on the next page. Because it looks like it could keep going. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It goes determine hits, crunch. This is all the following steps for bouncing a cannonball. And then there's a box for Grapeshot. And the pull has been like within 5%. Well, the pull has been really close every time. So clearly people are seeing this two different ways.
How can you get strength 8 AP2 grape shots? Because it gives a profile for grape shot right there.
No. What he was saying was, so my argument, if you look at page 226, was Cannon only lists Cannon Fire as a special rule, but that's for the direct solid shot. So he's pointing out the fallacy in my argument, and he was correct to do so. He was right about that. No, cannons of any type do not use the cruise blitz skill when firing grape shot. Instead, they shoot using notes. Cannons of where am I seeing that? Notes. Cannons of any type do not use their own cruiser skill. Instead, they shoot using the cannon fire special rule. This weapon uses the black.
It looks like it had its own special.
Cannon or cannot has the. It is true.
227, but
say that again.
It looked like it had its own how to hit on 227, so I don't see how the ballistic skill there would matter.
Read the notes under grapeshot. Cannons of any type do not use their cruise ballistic skill when firing grapeshot. Instead, they use
It also doesn't say cannons with this rule can do this. It just says cannon crews can do this.
But so, Candid, I can read that as cannons of either type, cannon or great cannon. But you're saying cannons of any type, including, which I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. Including, for example, the Iron Blaster, which is a cannon of the Sky Titans. Listen, what else is a cannon? Skaven have a cannon.
Warp lightning cannon shooting grape shot.
Maybe they can. Maybe that's their intent. It's Skaven magic, man.
That should be like their special rule for when it explodes is a grape shot effect. The crystal going everywhere.
Warp lightning cannon. There's a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Giant Pie's right of it. It's a cannon. Let's look up the Skaven one. But if it says cannon, or has that special rule, without having a rule that overrules anyway. Plague Furnace, Doom Wheel. There we go. Group type War Machine. Warp Light. Okay, it has its own rule. Warp Lightning Cannon.
Oh, it doesn't have grape shot. So
it's its own classification of cannon. So.
Yeah, so a warp lightning cannon does not have cannon fire. So there's no way you can argue that the warp lightning cannon can fire grape shot. So that's no longer part of the argument.
So far that can't. Or anything that doesn't have cannon fire.
What other
resolves?
What other cannons are there? There's the Empire of the Dwarves. The steam
People
tank.
might
Oh no, here's a good one. So here's one that it's more about intent than anything else.
Yeah.
The
organ gun might be worth looking at just to make sure that no one misconstrued.
Organ gun does not have cannon fire.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure on that because I can see people trying to argue that it does.
All right,
Just
steam
to get
tank.
multiple grape shot.
The steam tank does have a cannon.
Okay.
It has the cannon fire special rules. Are you saying the steam tank has a steam gun? Oh, but so does the iron blaster. So I was about to make a bad argument. I was going to say, why would it have a template and the artillery one? Damn. The whole argument, Playable Hero and everybody else, I guess, is whether or not we are counting grape shot as part of the cannon fire ruler or not. The community seems divided on this, and I don't care which way it gets ruled. Damn. Flamber Hero says. So here are my mods in chat here. We got one Flamber Hero saying separate rule and one saying same rule, and I can't disprove either one of them. I'm trying to argue against you guys, not for you guys, and I can't do it. If I argue for you, I can argue for both of you. I can't argue against either of you. Damn.
Let's see.
I think
Giant Pie is saying it's a separate rule.
Because go back to grape shot because I'll pull it up on mine as well.
Grape shot.
Well, I'm pretty sure it has its own resolution rules. So
it does. It definitely does. It's a different way of firing. Oh, but the steps. It's got to be separate, right? It's got to be separate. I've changed my mind 3 times. Yeah, I think I want to change my mind again because. Okay, you know what? Here we go.
Grape shot just changes. It just adds the need more rules.
Yes.
Need more nails. That's the only thing it does. It doesn't change anything else but the resolution.
Okay, cannon fire. When shooting with a cannon, work your way through the following steps. Grape shot is not part of those steps. It's not the same rule. There we go. Right? Argue that. The first line under, I think Flammable Hero was right from the beginning here. When firing cannon, work your way through the following steps. Grape fire is not any of the steps. Grape fire is not cannon fire. So, cannons, this highlighted word right here, cannon, that doesn't mean they don't get it, though. Cannons of any type. Okay, I'm changing my answer for the 15th time. Grape shot is not part of cannon fire. That part, I think, is now clear to me. Grape shot is not part of cannon fire. Cannons of any type do not use the crucible skill when firing grape shot. Instead, they shoot using the need more nail special rule. This weapon uses the black. So,
I think you can choose to resolve cannon fire or grape shot, is what it's saying.
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, does the Hellblast? Oh, sorry. Does the Iron Blaster get grape shot?
All right, let me look up.
It is a cannon. Why does this even matter? Yep, that's what I said earlier. The following steps. Yeah, no, sorry, Giant Pie. It's very hard to pull all this together. So no cannon in the game is allowed to use grape shot. Well, so Patrick M, cannons of any type can use this rule.
It is not. It has the cannon fire rule. It has. Let's see. It has a breath weapon shot as well.
No, Flammable Hero. I agree with you on that.
Well, I think how I'm reading it is the Iron Blaster can make 3 different shots. Types of shot.
That's where I'm now landing on. Even though the way I was arguing it, I think my arguments were wrong, but my conclusion was correct, which is so stupid. Grape shot is definitely not part of the cannon fire special rule, but grape shot is a rule all cannons have, which means we now have to allow, if we accept that, we now have to allow warp lightning cannons to fire grape shot as well, when they clearly don't fire a bunch of nails. Is the warp lightning cannon even a cannon? It's a cannon. It's a warp lightning cannon. But we can also go with it's a legacy army. They're not meant to matter. There's only a problem with legacy armies. No, actually no. Steam tank. So let's leave out Skaven. Let's leave out the Iron Blaster. Can the steam tank cannon fire? Oh, it's clearly a cannon. Yeah, it definitely could. The steam cannon is a cannon.
Warp lightning can't because it doesn't have cannon fire special, but we've already established that's not restrictive of.
I don't know. What rule determines a cannon? I think the letters CANNON in that order. Well, here's the thing. Here's this.
Well,
what?
I think we can look at the equipment because I'm seeing. Well, no, because that only works for great cannon. This is.
Okay, so a steam cannon is a cannon, but it has a rule. This weapon shoots like a cannon, using the cannon fire special rules. Doesn't say it shoots like a cannon using the cannon fire special rules or the grapeshot special rules. There's an argument against it. So you know what? We are not going to get to. We're going to talk this in circles. We're not going to get to definitive answer, so we're going to move on. But
I think for warp lightning cannon, it answers for itself because it says instead it shoots using lightning strike special rule. This uses a different misfire chart.
On the Skaven one,
yeah.
This weapon does not use the. It didn't shoot using the lightning. I know. I agree.
Yeah, that one specifies itself. I don't know about the other ones though. And really, that's the only one that is not a cannon in the conventional sense anyway. So.
Well, so Giant Pie, check this out. Even though I do want to move on from this one because this is a rabbit hole I don't think we're going to get to. The rules for a cannon also say the exact same thing. Use the cannon fire special rule, blah, blah, blah. Here's how to do it. It doesn't say over here on the cannon rules that you can fire grapeshot. Way down over here on the grapeshot paragraph, instead of firing normally, a cannon crew can opt to fire a grapeshot. You know what? A steam tank doesn't have a cannon crew. An Iron Blaster doesn't have a cannon.
Oh, wait. I think
Soul Grinder, yeah.
On Iron Blaster just sorted itself out as well because it's equipped with the cannon of the Sky Titans, and it specifies it has 2 profiles representing its 2 firing modes. So it specifies this is what it can do.
Yeah, but so Spoons, so does the regular cannon and great cannon. It says, here's what it can do. No profile for grapeshot. It's a special rule on page 227. Well, with a profiling special rule. So if you say the Iron Blaster can't, then you're saying all cannons can?
Well, the notes I'm seeing on the Great Cannon just specify instead they shoot with the cannon fire special rule. I'm saying the Iron Blaster one specifies it has only 2 profiles that it can shoot with.
Oh, and then there's the Bombard for the Bretonians too. That's right. I think anything that shoots like a cannon gets the cannon fire special rule, which includes both cannon fire and grapeshot, which is hilarious, Giant Pie, because I disagree with what you just wrote, but I agree with your conclusion. But I don't know if I'm right. I think cannon fire does not include grapeshot, because cannon fire tells you have to follow these steps. Grapeshot isn't any of the steps, telling you it's a different rule altogether. But the grapeshot rule says cannons get this. So.
Well,
okay.
I think that's true. That's how it works. But on the 2 examples I've looked at, which is just so far just the Warp Lightning and the Iron Blaster, there's a note that specifies an exception.
The Iron Blaster note that specifies the exception. I don't think, even though I'm not trying.
Pull it up on the stream because I've got it on.
Yep, I got it. I got it open here.
I got it open on the apps thing.
Why does the size keep changing?
Wait for the stream to catch up. So
fair.
There.
A cannon of Sky Titans has 2 profiles, representing the 2 modes of firing.
So like I said, it restricts itself, is how I'm reading.
Well, this line. Yeah, I understand the argument. This needs to be FAQ'd.
Definitely, it definitely needs
to
be elaborated on, but.
We are going to do a poll.
Currently, it answers itself.
We're going to do a poll. can all cannons fire grape shot? The answer of this poll, after unless Luca feels very, very strongly, and we'll have a discussion with him, will determine how we handle it until it gets FAQ'd. Can all cannons fire grape shot?
So, yeah, I'll cast
Please,
my vote on
let's
it.
have a good spread here.
I'll cast my vote on it, but how I'm reading it, steam cannon, yes. Iron blaster, no. Warp lightning cannon, no.
But it says all. I think
but there's a steam cannon is the only one that
hold on.
doesn't specify an exception.
I will define a cannon for you guys. Anything that's listed using these letters, CANNON, in that order. Don't get caught in the weeds on that. These are all cannons.
See, I've been going cannon as in the equipment, which is where I've been looking to see all these notes and extra rules, is the equipment.
Well, not working.
Yeah,
I need a Q&A. I'm an idiot.
yeah. It just has a ask something tab.
Can all cannons being anything that are labeled CANNONS, fire?
No, Flip, I argue that steam tanks are using cannons. Iron blasters are not.
A steam cannon is a cannon.
That one specifies shoots like a cannon.
Trick question. I say all cannons can fire a grape shot, but iron blasters and steam tanks are not using cannons. But they're cannons. A steam cannon is a cannon. A Sky Titan cannon, whatever it's called. Cannon of the Sky Titans is a cannon.
It is, but it has an exception.
Disagree that unit title equals equipment. Well, I'm not gonna argue that. You gotta show me where in the rulebook where things are defined as not a cannon. Like a sky cannon is a cannon. A steam cannon is a cannon. They could have called it a steam boom boom. They called it a cannon. It's a cannon.
I think it's a cannon, and I think if it didn't have an exception on it, then it'd be fine. I'm not seeing an exception on the steam cannon, so I think the steam cannon is a great shot.
Yeah, interesting. Like I'm not you could be exactly right on there. 10-2 spoons.
Well, I'm talking more to flammable hero there.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yes, but flammable hero it doesn't specify cannot do this, or this is its only profile.
So I think
Sky cannon goes out of its way to do that.
I think there's some strange just splitting hairs here. You guys see a subheading for cannons as a piece of equipment. Because some cannons are a piece of equipment. But the rules was for all cannons. And you guys are ignoring the all part. And you're thinking it only applies all cannons that are equipment. It doesn't say all cannons that are equipment. It says all cannons.
I voted no because of the exceptions but I think that the rule is right that anything that's a cannon has it unless otherwise stated, but I just put it because I know things state otherwise.
Gotcha.
I think that's a case where you're checking the stack. You're going to the base rule, then you're going to the next one to check for exceptions and so on.
Who's taking the airbrush approach? I hate that argument so much, but I appreciate you for bringing it up.
I'm taking like the inverse airbud approach.
Inverse airbud.
Because it's the answer is all cannons as default can, unless stated otherwise, and two of the three I've looked at state otherwise.
In my opinion, we're gonna end the poll. We got a no here. I like that. It's a nice spread. End poll. So we're gonna use no until FAQ'd. And no.
But your steam tank.
So in my opinion, if you're arguing what a cannon is, you're not arguing objectively, you're arguing from your outcome. So you're arguing to get an outcome that you want. Objectively, a cannon is a cannon is a cannon.
2 22-second paragraph.
What does that do?
What
But we are We got an answer that I can live with until it gets FAQ'd. 222. Do we have a whole other thing to look at?
Entirely plausible here, but
for clarity, any war
for
machines.
these discussions, I've started going as far as my stance goes. I've had to revert to Magic TO brain of rules as written is all that matters. It's why, look at a Chaos Orb. Drop it, and any card it touches is destroyed, so people would rip it into tiny pieces and blow up your entire field. Rules as written, it works.
So for clarity, any war machine that uses one of the profiles presented here will have the same... Oh, wait. Uses one of the profiles presented here will have the same name of the weapons and profiles given as part of... What? For clarity, any war machine that uses one of the profiles presented here will have the name of the weapon and profile given as part of the equipment.
That's the argument for referring to equipment canon instead of name canon.
For clarity, any war... For clarity? For clarity, Games Workshop? For clarity, any war machine that uses one of the profiles presented here will have the name of the weapon and profile given as part of its equipment. What does that mean? Wait, am I cooked? I don't understand that at all. What are they trying to say with that?
What they're saying is if it has one of these profiles, then it has canon in its equipment. I guess.
Oh, yes, yeah, duh. Okay, I see that. I get it. I'm just...
Which for the most part, the profiles for the different things do a good job of listing it in there.
I don't think that paragraph has any bearing on the conversation we just had, though. The conversation became at the end. All cannons have grapeshot. Davy Jones, I do. Did I get through the whole list, even though I hate everything about this list? That's it. That's it. All right, we're gonna open up to you guys. Is there anything more that needs to be addressed? Whew. Can I get a volunteer to rewordly my document? Because if I write this out, I'm gonna write this in a way where it's gonna cause more confusion as to how we're handling it. Does anybody want to take the...
who's been putting together the wacky stream charts? Maybe have them do it.
Mostly Dr. V.
Well, he's a doctor. I think he's qualified.
He's a doctor.
Write some words.
Equipment.
You don't want me doing that. I'm a bureaucrat. That's dangerous. You don't want to.
I have 3 employees. I got one of them to do it if nobody volunteers to do it. The whole book. Well, Jimmy, if you have anything that you want brought up, can't win a tournament with 59 cards to deck, though, right? I don't know what you mean, Gnome. I don't play Magic anymore. I'm assuming that's a comment for you, Spoons.
Wait. Well, no, that's why they would have a second copy set aside. They would just sleeve up the new one, put it in their graveyard.
So
that card's banned because you can legally do that. That's why it's banned.
I am not aware of any issue with the decapitating strike. But let's go take a look and see if we can find a problem before somebody points out what the problem is. I'm painting mine right now, actually.
Because, cards rip and tear all the time, and to prevent getting accused of marked cards, it's acceptable to have spares as long as it's not mistaken for your side deck.
I don't see a problem with decapitating strike. What's the problem? Pat, hit me up. Did we get to what's the save a unit with Motley Crew with 3 malls that has 3 different saves? Isn't that clear in the rulebook? You take the majority of the unit? Or the majority in the fighting rank? I don't think there's any ambiguity there, right? So if you have 3 different saves in the fighting rank, you take the save of the majority, but the casualties don't have to come from the majority save, which is kind of dumb. Rules as written, you can make all the attacks with the decapitating strike because it's a weapon. No. There's a note underneath that profile. The model may make one additional attack each turn with this weapon. Oh. I don't think that needs to be FAQ'd. I think, well, sure, you can FAQ. I'm not going to put that in the document. I think that's one of those strange cases of, oh, I see the argument you're making, but clear as day. So, some people are saying a Necrospink has 5 attacks. You make 5 attacks with cleaving blades, and then 1 additional attack with decapitating strikes. Or some people are saying you can take 6 attacks with decapitating strikes. No, right? Hey, Steve, for fun, compare the relation between bombardment, indirect fire with relation between cannon fire and grapeshot. Are you about to open up another can of worms? Alright, I'll look at that one in a second. Don't send me down a rabbit hole, Flammable Hero. I was trying to make progress today. I wanted to review some lists. I have more fun with that. Things have 6 decapitating strikes. What TO is ever going to allow that? Orcs and Goblins X pre-order, fellas? Yeah, they're coming out real soon.
I don't see a TO that would allow it, but at a glance, it seems to work. Rules is written.
The next brings is 195 points. There's no way. This just becomes the best thing in the game. Strength 10, AP 4, Killing Blow, Monster Slayer. 4-hour grapeshot screen. The Envenom Sting does specify only ones. Yeah, I know. That's where I know. Because if you're first in the TO, alright, it's going on the list. It needs to be FAQ'd.
Yeah, it needs to be FAQ pretty fast.
But like,
let me just make 6 strength 10 AP 4 attacks with Killing Blow and Monster Slayer. But they strike last, so it's okay. I'm glad I picked one of these up. I might need to build it sooner than later.
Jeez.
Of course, I need to get the rule books. GW needs to reprint that.
FAQ, I'm going to just double check if that was actually announced today.
I would expect it to be announced around Saturday next week.
Oh, yeah, so no announcement yet, which means...
I would expect, I'm looking, we got 1 in January, that's it.
Which means I don't know nothing yet. You're arguing rules as intended, though. No, Pat, I know. No, that's why I laughed. I'm like, okay. Rules as written, I think you can, but like nobody's gonna play it that way, right? Am I wrong in assuming nobody will do that? I wouldn't. My stance is, I'll keep saying this, nobody can really argue rules as intended unless they're the rules writer. Because you can't, if you're arguing, you have to have a strong belief. And you can, I guess you can believe it, but we can't know for sure. Maybe they intend, like, you want to be fast? You want to be initiative? Hold on! No, hold on. The Necrospink is initiative 1.
It's already going last.
It strikes last, and all the attacks are same initiative. Why would there be 2 profiles? Okay, here's the first...
in case you charged, this one still goes
same outcome. Charge bonuses are after strikes last sets the initiative 1, and then you add your charge bonuses. It's exactly the same outcome. So this is the first time ever in my life. In fact, because it's initiative 1, I'm putting on. No, you can't. Oh, you can only make 5 attacks.
So you still make 5 attacks.
You make
so you make 5 attacks with this weapon, and then you choose to do a 6 because it says you can.
Definitely not. And initiative 1 is the first time ever where I'm going to argue rules as intended. We now know clearly rules as intended. You're supposed to make 5 attacks with cleaving blades and 1 more attack at decapitating strikes.
And then 1 more with Sting, but that happens first.
Only good players. All right. Do anything? It doesn't. This does not need an FAQ, right?
It most definitely needs an FAQ. You're gonna lose a lot of friends if you if you don't play rules as intended. But what will you do if they come out with an FAQ that specifies, yeah, that's how it works?
I will go, wow, the one time I actually argued for rules as intended, I'm certain this is the intent. Boom. I actually want them to do that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my bad. It does consume one of your attacks. It specifies that.
Pre-order for Orphan Goblins
by
next
how
weekend.
the rules are written, Steve.
Thanks, Couch. It definitely needs an FAQ, but it's exceptionally clear what their intent is. Yeah, fair. The rules intent argument is just a nice way to tell someone their rules as written makes them sound like.
I think we found a list where you don't run all dragons. Just bring a couple Necrosphinx and watch.
Oh
the
god,
dragons
this is...
die.
I love it to death. I love it. Alright, do we have any serious ones that we have to run down?
I think that's very serious to address before someone shows up at your channel.
I love
for
it.
Handheld with the
It's initiative 1. I love it.
It just really wants you to know this one happens last. What it's saying is if you choose to make only one additional attack with that weapon, you have to resolve all your cleaving blades first. That's what it's saying.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Rules intended though. I don't know if they come from the rules document as a whole. And is the spirit which rules are written? No, I don't agree with that. I think rules intended can only be interpreted by the rules writer. Sorry, no. We're always all interpreting rules. I think rules intended can only be definitively defined by the rules writer. The intent can only be made by the person who wrote it. I don't think you can logically argue that.
Yeah, because I mean, playing Tomb Kings, the rules as intended is I win turn 1, good game.
So exactly, and then say Spoons wrote that rule.
I intend the rules.
Yeah, Spoons writes that rule, and that's his intent. But I read it as it works for Necrons. I'm like, but that's the way I'm interpreting it. I can ask Spoons, what was your intent? They're like, no, Spoons can tell me it actually works for Necrons, and now we know intent. Only the guy who wrote it knows the intent definitively. The rest of us interpret, and you can rules as written. You can follow something down. Well, no, that's the exact argument for rules as written. Intent, but you can follow a rule to the T written, but the rules writer meant it to work a different way. But this is what you wrote. I actually, you know what's funny? I actually had that exact discussion. Somebody told me they wrote a rule, and this is how it's supposed to be followed. Well, but you wrote this, and he goes, yeah, that's fair point. But this is what it's supposed to mean. Oh, okay, rules as intended was clear to him.
Look, all I'm saying is we've all had that writing class where the tree is blue. Write 2 pages about why the tree is blue. I'm of the mind the author just saw blue. The tree was just blue.
Why is somebody at Game Direction who didn't write the Vortex rule clarifying on behalf of? Oh no! I'm not clarifying it. I'm telling you, in my opinion, if you think the scatter rule doesn't apply to the scatter die, you have a problem interpreting rules. And I'm going to handle it this way because I got confirmation that the way I'm interpreting it is correct. And then they will have an opportunity in the future to put out their clarification on it, so the rest of you will have the same confirmation. Or otherwise, you do not have to follow it my way. You can free to do it any which way you want. Remember, this is how I'm making a document how we're going to handle things on this channel. The document
isn't out yet, so it's still fair game, is what it boils down to.
Well, no, I'm just trying to put together
a way to do it, but
rules is terribly written.
But I just wish they replaced it with the keyword scatter, just to make it streamlined, make it simple.
Yeah,
that
sure.
would have saved all this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. I do not disagree with that.
It's why I like keywords in Magic, and in 40K and Age of Sigmar they adopt it pretty well. It's not quite as consistent in Old World, but you just give me a couple bold words at the end of a unit's name to tell me what it is, what it is.
All right. I am still waiting to find out if I have to leave, and I haven't got that text yet. So we can go on a little bit longer. We have written down a document that's going to get put in the description of every one of the videos, how we're going to handle a bunch of these things. This document will be subject to change at any time. And I'll get somebody to rewrite it better, hopefully. I think your logic is 100%.
Fallacious.
Flavor Hero, I truly believe you're trolling. If you can't make the leap from scatter die to scatter rule,
I'll say this.
You've got to be trolling me.
I want them, if that's the case, I want them to start producing the scatter die without the little arrow, just to mitigate confusion.
No, you need that arrow. You need that.
Oh,
sorry, hold on. I don't like your wording there. You need that triangle on the direct hit for bomb from bombardment.
Oh, okay. So that it's serves the purpose elsewhere. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That works then. That works then.
I think White Dwarf 330 was best. You know what? I disagree. I think White Dwarf 331 was better. I haven't read a White Dwarf in years.
I'm just gonna say this: Han shot first.
If we have a little time, can you explain?
We're having pointless arguments.
I love pointless arguments, but I know a lot of people don't. So, if we have a little time, can you explain once more the not moving on the scatter die roll hit argument again? No, fuck off.
Candid, I think with bounce you can. I don't think you can declare them as the target though.
Can you hit enemies that are in combat with a cannon? Can you do the same with Gaze or Gork? The Gaze or Gork, definitely.
I think
So the thing is,
crazy scenario where the cannon bounces into it, maybe. But like...
so there was an FAQ in 8th edition about you can't put guess like ranged weapons and things that could potentially hit things in combat. I can't remember the exact wording because like you're trying to game the system. As of right now, I know, editor, you got me to read it too. So as of right now, I don't believe there's anywhere in the book that says there's a stipulation saying you're not supposed to do that, but the spirit of the game says don't do it. So I don't think it needs an FAQ. You'll never see Luca and I do it and to potentially game the system.
What if Luca shows up and wants to make 6 decapitating strikes?
Zero chance. He would never do it.
Oh, he would. No, he is very much spirit of the game kind of player.
Yeah. I'm lucky I get to play with people. Well, it's almost...
You could tell him that's how it works, and he would just stop bringing in Necrosphinx. He would bring it once.
Yes. No, you're right.
How stupid it is, and then he wouldn't bring it.
You're right. You know, like, I don't even play people, like, people that come in from all over the world to play Warhammer, and none of them are ever, like, argue, like, I think this is how we handle it. How do you guys want to handle it? And they're always like, cool. Nobody ever, like, no, this is definitely... The rules is weird, and I can get my 6 captain. I've never met a person at Mini Wargaming that would even argue that.
Yeah.
They would go, we do 6, but if you guys don't want to, I'm okay with that too. That's how most people handle it.
Yeah. I saw a comment on a recent video from Mini Wargaming that tried to push him to do more competitive stuff, and I don't want him to, because that's exactly the kind of guests they're going to start getting for handhelds.
No, Spoons. Nobody. I know exactly what comment you're talking about. Nobody replied to that comment because we have so much data already to know
that's not what people want.
That is what some people want, but they're the vast majority of hobby dollars. Sorry, I'm going to rephrase this. The more hobby dollars will be spent on narrative, whatever play over competitive. I know some people believe like nobody's taking the niche properly. But that's not true. There are plenty of people doing it, but they never grow past small because the grand audience doesn't want it. And there's a lot of people who never understand it, never gonna believe it. We don't even reply to those because we have the data knowing
the engagement.
Yeah. Because like from their point of view, it's an untapped market. Everyone's already trying to tap it.
Yeah. I've always been my narrative is the best way to play. Like I'm a lifetime Vault member. If they consistently had a YouTube members only narrative campaign going, I'd pay $5 a month more just to have another narrative campaign to watch.
Well, we're doing that 4-player
I
campaign.
saw the preview for that. That looks sweet. You made the wrong choice, Steve.
I know. I don't care. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I love the look on your face. You're just like, oh, that was, I could have done that.
Yeah. Well, we were talking. I don't know if we talked about that in the video, but everyone was kind of like not looking at the rules. It was going to go down at like just narrative picks and not the most powerful picks, because you can see clear as day. We would all do the exact same thing because it's clearly a better thing. Luca's going to be hard to. We're not going to be able to fight Luca. Luca's is going to win the first bunch of games.
I don't know. It depends on Well, I guess you've seen him. I was going to say it depends on how good Matt's comp system is, but
I've seen him. Whatever. Matt is Zinch and he'll just adjust things. Dragged along. When can the model with this rule use the move characteristics of the other unit? Declaring a charge, making a charge, move during remaining moves. Is there any other issues with that, Cora? You wrote a statement, but there was no question there. Wow, loads of orcs out this week.
Gaming. I love Mordheim. I'm painting up a witch coven that I'm going to use the Sister Sigmar rules for right now. And I got witch hunters I'm working on after that. And then it's terrain. The expensive part, terrain.
I'm not seeing an article announcing the orc stuff. Can you link it? I want to know what they're saying.
The dwarf anvil has a base size of not applicable. What does that mean?
The anvil and the Castle of Souls does not get a base. That's what it means. I don't think they exist in real life. Well, it's only
and then the second part of that question. Those things don't really move that much, but you want to just treat it like a vehicle in 40K, but make it work with the model.
What do you mean? I'm not following.
I'm saying, like, look, I'm looking at I have a Cask of Souls in front. I'm talking about the base size question. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because I'm looking at one right now. There's definite corners. There's definite front of this model. There's definite back of the model. Which way are they looking? That's the front.
So, Mr. Fancy Pants, I'm going to say something that is going to be so mean, and it's not meant to be that way. I think sometimes you might not just see the tactical brilliance that he's actually trying to pull off. And sometimes he's doing something stupid.
The only instance where I want to see people being a bit more competitive is I hate when there's a very sound that's a cocked die debate and the result determines a significant part of the game and they like voluntarily go against their favor instead of re-rolling it. I don't like seeing that. But that's the only thing I have a gripe with.
I've done that for years. It just makes sense to always rule against yourself. But I have a rule on my channel that me, Steve, is the only person allowed to make the call on a cocked die, and nothing is cocked. If there's a perfect,
and that's fine. Like, that's how you're gonna.
Yeah. Because I remember years ago, basically I was every time the die was cocked for my opponent, and it was what they needed, I would say that's fine. And if it was not they needed, I'd say just re-roll it. And I was doing the opposite for myself. And people were calling me out on it. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I shouldn't do that. So I was like, nothing's cocked. Because I've seen, like,
most of the time, if it's a cocked die, you can determine the face. Now, with those new boards they have, some of those little pits where it's legitimately we don't know what side it's on.
I've never liked the, like, it's slightly off the mat, so it's technically cocked argument. I'm like, no, like, if there's a majority facing, we know what the die is.
Yeah, that's like I'm talking about the few instances I've seen where it's like this legitimately it is a 6 and you're re-rolling it because the 6 is really good for you, but it's like a set, it's a millimeter to one side.
Yeah, no, like there was I actually know I can visualize it clear as day. There was a time where some other people were playing a game, and we saw it was somebody playing Warriors of Chaos, and it was I think it was 8th edition game of Fantasy, and they rolled for Eye of the Gods and got Dark Apotheosis or something. You had to roll a die, and if you rolled a 1, it was a spawn. If you rolled a 6, you turned into a demon. and it was like the game was going real bad for the chaos player, and the person rolled the die, and it was a 6, and there was multiple people in the room, and everyone's like, "Oh, amazing!" And the die was on the mat and the table, so it was crooked by a millimeter, and the other person's like, "Oh, it's cocked. You got to re-roll it." And like that, this was the moment I was like, "Wow, no chance." I even spoke up like, "Come on, dude, that's a 6." He's like, hey, "It's not flat." I'm like, "Wow, that's the moment I decided dice aren't cocked anymore." I find people, because if that die was a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, the other guy wouldn't have said a damn thing. But it was a 6, so I decided right then and there, this cock die thing is an argument for the whack people. Now, other people use it, but it's this. I think that's where it comes from. So nothing's cocked. I use majority facing all the time. I remember very vividly everybody in that room, everybody's reaction. That moment, it sticks in my head. It was like the game changing, the way I play games changing moment for me. I'm like, no, never again. Dice aren't cocked.
Yeah, so the only time you should re-roll a die for being cocked is if a corner's the what's facing up. Like, you legitimately don't know what it's on.
Yeah, if you put your head over it, it's somehow a perfect triangle. I'm like, okay.
And the only time I've seen that happening is, again, on those new, like, boards that Mini Wargaming has where they got holes in them, dips into the ground.
It was like the Warriors of Chaos player who was already getting his, butt pounded. It was just a soul crushing moment for that person. I remember looking at the poor guy's face. I'm like, wow, we're not really gonna do this guy, right? Like, this was such a cool. Right? Yeah, this has got to be a joke. This is such a cool moment. And it wasn't a tournament. Like, it was just a friendly game. There's a village and origin story right there. Let me share you all the people involved in that. I'll shock you. No, I'm not gonna
do that. That's a villain origin story.
I wish GW could release a game that didn't require an FAQ to make it playable. Come on, every game in the. Like, I'm not here to be a GW apologist, because I think they're particularly bad sometimes, but every game needs an FAQ at one point. Even Monopoly, my God.
Look, it comes down to play testing. That takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Look at video games now. They do a beta to get the initial wave, but they still have patches for the next 4 years. Those are FAQs.
Sasha, the thing is, depending on Luca's mood, he'd go, fine, whatever, it's cocked. And it can be perfectly flat. It'll be fine, let's re-roll it. And he'll abide by it. I remember, I was talking about this with Luca recently, too. I remember years ago when we first hired him, when I was making the case that Luca should be the hire, I said, more so than any guest that's ever come into Mini Wargaming, this kid here takes his ego off the table. And now, 7 years later, it's not true anymore.
He's the only person in Mini Wargaming outside of Dave who I think could survive playing Blood Bowl.
Regularly. Oh, Luca loves Blood Bowl. He loves
that's a game where you have to not care about winning to have fun.
So yeah, Luca cares. I truly believe Luca cares more about the spirit of the game than winning.
Yeah.
Zach, what am I doing this week? I don't know. Painting a bunch of stuff.
Hands
no,
down,
I'm not going to.
I like people that do this. What I love about a lot of the Age of Sigmar games I see on channels is you reach, especially with the guests, where they're spending money to be there, they had to travel and all that, and you go, all right, I won the double turn, game's over. Let's play it like I didn't. Just I like seeing that kind of stuff at a table.
Working. Go ahead.
Like where we know the results, but we're here to have fun, so let's pretend we don't.
So working for Mini Wargaming for 10 years. Hold on, I'm going to answer this real quick. Steve, do you reckon you could do a battle with a Chaos Sorcerer Lord on a dragon? The other army has a Dragon Slayer sword and see how it plays out. I don't have a Chaos character on a dragon. I'm working on that. I'm trying to find something. Working for Mini Wargaming for 10 years, I've been very lucky to literally play people from all over the world. Now, the vast majority of our guests actually coming from the US. We get a handful from Canada, a lot from the UK, Germany, South America. We had Kazakhstan, Israel. Even though it's the US, we've had plenty from Alaska, tons from Australia. Like literally, China. and a Russian guy. We have people from all over the world to play these people. Everybody has come in. Sorry, almost everybody has come in has been just an awesome dude. Just excited to play some games, hang out, not argue about things. It's just been. I've been lucky
I mean,
to not.
they're on vacation. They're there to have fun. So,
I've been lucky for the most part not to have to deal with the horror stories people keep telling me about the local stores. Now, there have been
incidents.
five people in 10 years, probably thousands of people that are memorably a problem. And I'll run them down. One was a War Machine guy who lost his game. Told
They're
his
all a problem.
No, you know what? Before you say that, some of the nicest guys I've ever met were in the War Machine crew.
I just know,
but also the worst ones were there as well.
So that's what I'm going with.
All I'm hearing, challenge accepted. Come on, Inflammable here. We'll do this. No, we had one War Machine guy who lost his game. Who said, "Oh, I hope you." He said something like, "I hope you lose the tournament. I hope you lose everything else," and then slammed the studio door and left. Like that's in the top 5 worst people ever.
Wow.
Like, and so that's not like that's bad, but it's not like horror stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steve is writing rules this week. Apparently, he wants us to care about his authorial intent. Sasha, here's the great thing: you don't have to care about anything I say. How woods work when you get hardcover? Can you see a unit with entirely within a wood? What do you mean by that? Aren't woods just there's no hardcover in this game? There's partial cover and full cover, and you can see things in a woods. Hello, Jackson. We are live right now on the internet. We're talking about rules and rules questions. What is your rules question?
Oh, you're live on the internet. Oh my goodness! Tell everyone I said hi.
They can hear you.
Oh, hi everybody. So I'm currently playing a game right now against Tomb Kings, and I'm playing Demons. So my question is, he has a shop T trying to target my Keeper of Secrets. Well, my Keeper of Secrets is right next to a unit of Demonettes. Can they still target the Keeper?
Yeah, the Keeper of Secrets is a monster.
Gotcha. Okay. I just wanted to make sure if there was like any interactions with like the character keywords and things like that.
Tell them the Necrosphinx can attack 6 times.
Is your opponent bringing in a Necrosphinx?
My opponent is indeed bringing in Necrosphinx.
You know what? Never mind. We're not going to bring it up. Yeah, you're good. You can be.
Steve.
Nothing. It'll help your opponent massively, and we don't think its rules is intended.
So just to be clear, your shop D can in fact shoot the Keeper.
Yes. Well, hold on. Actually, before you go, when the Necrosphinx fights, how many attacks can it make with its decapitating strike?
All right, Spencer. How many attacks can the Necrosphinx make with its decapitating strike? Just one.
That's the right call. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, bye, Steve.
Yes, the unit is more than 50 inches plus 1 hit, plus 2 to hit. So yes, if the unit is more than 50%, is just it like in the woods you're gonna be partial covered unless more than 50% are covered up by the actual trees and things. So it's a look down and look, like get your eye level and look. How many of the malls are covered? If it's 0, it's still partial cover because the woods rule. But if like the tree trunks are covering more than 50% of the unit, then it's full cover. Or sorry, yeah, full cover. Is that what it's called? Bone Grinder, Giant, and Trollhag rules are in the Orc and Goblins journal book. I heard the same thing. My Trollhag is already on a square base.
Is it the guy that was cheating playing Tau? I hear you. The stream may not. Your audio quality did shift, so maybe something happened.
I did unplug my mic. How long have I been? What was the last thing you guys heard me say? I'm back now.
I think you finished the phone call before the shift happened.
Sound guy, please. There's no budget for that. You guys are my sound guy, Demonic Teddy. You let me know when the mic comes unplugged. You read the bone. My troll hag is already rebased, and yeah, I'm excited for that book to come out. We can play it. Welcome to the stream. So when I can't talk about the other four. Somebody asked about the other four people. Well, they're one of the worst ones I can talk about because you'll never be able to figure out who it is. We had one guy. I told the story before, and I'm happy to tell it again. We had one guy who was putting up a. So they flew in from across the world. They were using mini wargaming models. They were using my models actually because they didn't want to ship their stuff, which is fine. Makes complete sense. And a guy had to play against Quirk, and Quirk was playing Space Marines. This is during 7th edition before the detachments came out, so early 7th edition. So for note, Space Marines are not good at this time. Land Raiders were terrible at this time. Utter trash. This person was putting up a fit, complaining, I came all the way across here to play a battle report, and I have to play against Space Marines with Land Raiders. This is crazy broken. I don't want to play this game. I have nothing I can do with them. This is dumb. His friends are trying to calm him down, trying to get him to play the game. And the rest of us aren't really understanding this was going on. So eventually I figured out, like, I wonder, like, what's the problem? Like, oh, you guys being cheesy, whatever, and saying horrible things. Like, I don't want to play against Space Marines with Land Raiders. I have nothing to do with them. I'm like, Space Marines are kind of bad right now. Land Raiders are terrible. Like, you're just going to win this game. What are you playing? I shit you not. He was playing Eldar, and he had, like, 15 D weapons. Eldar, the most crazy, he had nothing but bikes and D weapons, the most crazy overpowered army in the game, with the most overpowered weapon in the game, who could drop his Quirk's whole army in a turn. This guy was being a complete twat. We're playing against cheesy Space Marines and their Land Raiders, playing Eldar with D weapons. And then nothing got filmed that day, and we were told never to come back.
Go on, get.
Could there be an orc battle report sufficiently close to when the book releases? Well, we'll definitely do orcs on the stream. We'll definitely have to try out some of those orc special armies of renown, whatever they're called. They'll look really fun. Would you say the rules for the Bone Grinder Hag or Battlenet Ogres are good? Man, I suspect when that book comes out, I will do a review on it and talk about exactly those things.
I wonder why you suspect that. I mean, who would know?
Your Troll Princess was on the square base. No, it was on a round base. I painted it up for Age of Sigmar, and I ripped it off its base and put it on a square base. It is now on a base for the old world. The Coke guy, of course, wasn't whatever. A question dragged along. In your FAQ, can I use the charge phase or only in the movement phase? Let's look up the dragged along. I didn't think there was an issue with dragged along, but I don't really use it, so. Oh, we're going the wrong way. No rule I hate. How to. Use the highest weapon skill, damn it. Go the wrong way. Steve, are you still under NDA?
What NDA?
I don't know. I've heard other people talk about it. If you're under an NDA, you're not supposed to claim that you're under an NDA.
That's
which is
usually
weird.
like clause 1 of any NDA. First rule of Fight Club is don't talk
and then
about
to circle back around from a couple of years ago where people were talking about the leaked Games Workshop NDAs and what they all meant. It was all, those people were all bullshit. They did not know what they were talking about. I was my take.
Of course.
What am I doing before I get dragged along? I'm going the wrong way. I gotta stop swearing. I apologize, everybody.
It's your money.
A model of this special rule that begins with moving within one of a friendly unit whose troop type is infantry that is not fleeing and contains 10 or more models may replace its movement characteristic. Yeah. Well, where's the confusion? You use the church face.
They're saying you already have access to Old World 2nd Edition.
If I did, that would cause a lot of confusion.
I wonder if Old World's going to end up on the 3-year cycle.
I think that would be a safe bet.
Is
And
Horsehair
nobody
still in
specifically
November?
told me
I can't remember if it's been 3 years or not.
I think that would also be a safe bet.
Okay. I mean, it's honest with GW at this point. It's safe to assume all their games are.
I never did nothing. That's right, Sasha.
I plead the 5th. Oh wait, you can't. You're in Canada.
No, it's not that. Because kids are watching, Zach. So you shouldn't talk like me. It's not good.
Yeah. I appreciate channels that try not to, because so many of them just do it. It's such an unnecessary level. Like they're going out of their way to swear. It feels like.
Yeah, I want to be able to watch my videos when your kids are around, or if you are a child, to hear this kind of stuff. That's how I feel. Wow, I just saw the Old World preview on Warhammer Community. That bone grinder. What? Why am I not seeing it? Are you just messing with me? I think you're trying to get me to say stuff I don't actually know any answers to. Next week? Is it under here? Oh, there is one! It has a big horse heresy picture. Okay. Orc and Goblin Tribes. We already knew what these models were, right? This guy here is fun to paint, the Black Orc Big Boss. Once these articles are out, I have a little bit more leeway in what I can say. But I'm happy to bring back the Orc Wyvern on... do I have a scene set to display my... I don't have a scene set to display my screen. Let me see if I can share this. Do I have... No, I don't have a scene set up for this. Damn. All right, just open up another browser, everybody. We can go look at Orcs and Goblins. I'm not...
I got a bail for a bit. You have a good one.
Yeah, later, buddy. I'm not overly excited for the Wyvern Rider because he's just like the rider I love. I don't like that potbelly Wyvern. I just don't like that Wyvern. The Hag Troll is gross and awesome. I'm happy to use mine. Zach, what's up? What are we saying? Okay, bringing back the resin Orc and Goblin characters from Forge World. I use the Night Goblin BSB. I don't think I'm gonna buy any of the other ones. Don't care about them at all. And then the plastic Orc kit. I had so many of them, but the plastic character kit. I'm super excited to bring them back. It makes me believe that the Empire and the High Elf one will come back around as well, which I'm stoked for. And I'm gonna buy a bunch more goblins. I don't know if I need any more boys, but and classic Orc models. They're bringing back these classic Orc models, eh? I don't care about those Orc guys. That Wizard is one of my favorite all-time Games Workshop models. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite. These Goblin characters, these Goblins on wolves, the Goblin characters, the Sneaky Skulkers. I gotta order a crap ton of these things. The Wolf Chariot's back. Oh my god, classic Ogres. We're buying some of them. Snotlings and Trolls, Pump Wagons, all the War Machines. I'm going to buy a bunch of Snotlings and Trolls. I'll probably buy some more Pump Wagons. Avatars of War Wyvern's great. I didn't even know that he did one. I haven't been following Avatar War in a long time. Oh! Sorry, this is a different... I was thinking about somebody else. This used to be an old... No, it's the same guy, right? Yeah, same guy. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. A little too cartoony. It's really too cartoony and too toothy for me. I'm gonna buy that old ass metal giant too. And the bone grinder I don't care about. Look how tiny that base is. New orc dice, will that make Luca feel better? And a bunch of heresy stuff that is unfortunately dead over here. I was under the impression that the 5th edition Wyvern was also coming back. And I'm not seeing it here. It's every dice I use, Giant Pie. They're always the same. I do need to get a bunch of these classic ogres, though. Man, I'll be really upset if the 5th edition Wyvern doesn't come back in. The 2 giants come in resin. Aww. Well, the bone grinder, of course, does. It's an old Forge World model. Oh, so yeah, even the little guy resin. Oh well, I'm still gonna buy him. Could be call him hopefully. Canada/US, same thing, right? What are you talking about? Give us Assag. I already have an Assag. I don't think they're gonna bring back the Assag model because it's a named character. Wouldn't make sense for them to do so. Even though that's also one of my all-time favorite Games Workshop models as well. Yeah, I'm excited for this. They give a date on this. I'll tell you when the first game will be. Everything in this article will be available to a pre-order from next Saturday, which is... When did this come out? It came out today. So that means... not next week, but the week after, we'll see some Orc and Goblin battle reports with the new book. I think it was listed on the MTO along with the Marauder Giant. What's the MTO? Oh, made to order. Wait, like was it in the article? Did they say so in the article? If anybody wants to split some of these Orc and Goblin boxes, I don't need any chariots or orcs, but I need a lot of goblins. But I guess so do you, so. We ended up playing over 2K. Yeah, we will definitely be playing games over 2,000 points. But for the stream right now, it just makes sense to stay at 2,000 points. Remember, for Luca, Luca starts the stream after an 8-hour workday. It was on the previous article? Okay, good. Good. As Hag the Slaughterer, Ozzy, as Hag the Slaughterer. Well, I think we've only done 3 hours today, but we've kind of talked this one to death. Unless anybody else has anything else they need to bring up, I'm going to go paint some models. They deleted most of the previous articles about the future Orcs and Goblins, so I don't know. Oh, Candid, that makes me sad. So there's a chance I might not get a 5th edition Wyvern? How long until you're comfortable playing 5,000 points with Mitch? I talked about Mitch. We talked about that yesterday. So Mitch and I recorded a game yesterday, and we talked exactly about that. We're not there yet, but we are a lot closer than I thought we'd be. A friend of mine meant that 2,000 points could be better. I think 2,000 points is a good standard. But if Luke, the faster Luke and I get at playing this game, means we'll increase the point value because we want to give you guys a good meaty stream. If the streams end up under 2 hours, we're going to increase the point level. So if we consistently finish at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to increase the point levels. 8 p.m. is not a bad end time. So obviously, Luca Luca lives far away from the studio, so he needs to he has to leave by at least 9 o'clock to be home by 10 p.m. So we'll try to find the sweet spot where the streams end in between 8 and 8:30. So if we're consistently ending by 8, we can probably add 500 points and get done by 8:30. Too late, Zach. It's already done. I feel like table size with the new bases doesn't fit. That's the thing. So a part of our discussion, Colin, was if we jumped up to 3,000 points, we can't. Okay, we don't even think we can get 5,000 points on the table proper. If we jump up to 3,000 point games, it fills your entire deployment zone. Like the base sizes are so big, the trays are so much bigger. So the big jump Mitch and I will do, the new one. I don't know, maybe Zach. The big jump up Mitch and I will do first will be a 3,000 point game. To see if we can maneuver, because I have this thought that I'm not sure if it's accurate or not, but at 3,000 points, it might not be Warhammer anymore. It's just kind of like walking forward and then seeing what happens. Like, even though a lot of games end up being like that, but there's no room for maneuvering or flanking, and it causes a lot of cascading effects. You fail one, fall back in good order, you're probably basically out of the game because you're past other units. And it might be just a bunch of what's the phrase? Much ado about nothing. It might not be enjoyable. But that being said, we gotta try it and find out. So the one game that we did, Luke and I did, was that special scenario from the Arcane Journal from Bretonia, where the Bretonian had a bunch of models coming on from reinforcements. It was the only reason why the Bretonians were able to even deploy all their models, because half of the army, like 1,200 points, wasn't even on the table, because the other 1,700 points pretty much filled the table. It wouldn't have worked. I think at 3,000 points, a lot of your units just aren't going to play the game. It's a 4x8 needed for bigger games. Yeah, I think so, Kev. I think so. That's where I sit right now. Smush Hammer. That's exactly right, Nico. Do you guys have any big tables at Warhammer World on release day? Well, Scott, we did 2 6x4 tables for our special scenario. We had like a long table. Everybody else is playing on normal size tables. And the live studio cannot handle a bigger table. And none of the other studios, I don't have access to a bigger table at the moment. So if I want to go to a bigger table, I have to go up to the tournament hall upstairs. And it's not easy to film the tournament hall. It's other people around, it's noisy. Another 4th edition trailer just dropped. Aren't GW events going to be 1,500 points? I don't know, Zach. I don't know. It doesn't matter though, Zach, because the community will eventually decide what the average. So after GTs are being held, eventually the GTs will gather around a particular point value, say 24, 25, 2,000, and then every GT will be at that point level. And then once that happens, everybody else will start playing that in their local games as well. It's always been the case forever. So we're gonna wait and see. It's just not my call. The GT scenario will decide what the community will be playing on for every game, pretty much. And then, like, let's say the GTs are all 3,000 points. They're not going to be. Let's say they're all 3,000 points. If I start doing 2,000 point battle reports, I'll be inundated with comments like, "Why are you guys playing proper games at 3,000 points?" Why are you playing? I'll get it over and over and over again. So whatever the GTs do as their norm, so will my channel. Just to not have to hear it. What was the 4th edition trailer? I don't see it. All those Kroot, though. Who's got time? 3 days, 7 hours. Oh, the big Adepticon reveal. Oh, yeah, we're going to see. What do you think? We have an old world reveal in Adepticon. I know what it's going to be. No, I don't know what it's going to be, but we're probably going to see the next old world army announced at Adepticon. I'm going to guess, I'll be clear, I'm going to guess we're going to see the dwarf sneak peek next old world army at Adepticon. That's a just pure guess in a pocket here. Don't know if that's true. Steve, why didn't they design Hales to be highly armored elves? I really hate the spearmen are basically just high initiative goblins and dialects. So I don't know the answer to that. Obviously, I can make a guess. They basically lowered the armor across the board. I would think at one point Heil spearmen, for example, probably had heavy armor at one point during playtesting, and it was ultimately decided that it was just a better balance for the game to not have heavy armor. Should Hiles have the same armor as a Source Warrior? Probably not. Maybe you can argue yes. Maybe it's better. Maybe the game is worse off. The thing is, I don't think Hiles are in a bad spot. So if you want to argue they need more armor, what do you need to give up for that? Are you going to pay more points to the Spearmen? I don't want to pay more points to the Spearmen. They're already more than I want to spend. So first become a rules writer for people to listen to. Now you be a GT organizer for people to listen to. That's true, Sasha. Dwarves next week. Kevin, that's pure. I don't know if Josh is still in chat, but we were just speculating on that. It would make sense that so they did Bretonnia and Tomb King together, and then which have a rivalry, a good and a bad, and then we already see the announcement for Orcs and Goblins. So what if there is a plan of combining these back and forth? Well, a good rival for them is Dwarves, and then after that, we can see maybe what's left. We got Warriors of Chaos and Empire would probably be a good combo. So we'll see those two next, and then we got left Hiles, Wood Elves, and Beastmen. Wood Elves and Beastmen. That's a good combo for these big boxes to come out close to each other, and then Hiles are left on their own. Because there's an odd number, and somebody's got to be out on their own, right? Dwarf Trace just got leaked. Get out of here! Where, Wolfric? I need a picture. Can you link it to the Discord? What is going on in the Discord? Put a picture in general chat for me, Wolfric. They've always had light armor, Phoenix Guard. No, actually, Gabriel, there was, I think it was, there was 2 editions, or maybe just 1. There was a couple of editions where Heil Spearmen had heavy armor, or could purchase heavy armor. I don't think they released Dwarves with Orcs because you can pre-order Orcs next week. And no, not Dwarves with Orcs, Ken. Sorry, I meant like 2 months from now. We'll see the previews for the Dwarves next, is my speculation. I think every couple months we'll see a release, and it'll go kind of like pairing up. I'm not saying the same time as Orcs. Steve, play Vampire Counts when? Oh, I have to rebase them. I actually kind of forgot all about my Vampire Counts. Steve, play Skaven when? Probably soon. Probably soon, actually. Nancy Pants. Dwarf Dice leaked a few weeks ago on Facebook? Really? I didn't see that. Dwarf Giants would be awesome. It'd just be regular sized dwarves. Or, man. Yeah, no, Nemo. I'm with you. I would prefer my Hiles Spearmen to have heavy armor. But if they did, the points have to go up by 1 or 2, right? I think I would rather them not. I don't know. If the option was there, would I buy heavy armor? I guess I would. Yeah. I guess I would. Yeah. I'm with you. Steve Playhouse 1 never hates them. I hate Isles. I hate all armories. Why was nobody linking me a picture? I want to see these dwarf days. At 3 points, there's no chance I'd pay it. No chance. At 2 points, I probably wouldn't pay it. 1 point for heavy armor, I can get behind for the high elves. At 2 points, the squads is too expensive. At that point, if I'm paying that many points per model, I'll just take silver helms instead. Thank you, Nash. Ooh, I like that. I could probably use these dwarf dice on stream. They don't look like they're overly mottled. Wait, Wolfric? Are you Nash? You are, aren't you? How's it going? Y'all can't have different names everywhere. Steve, how do you feel about magic and dwarves now? Dwarves are fine. Dwarves have good magic for one, the anvil, and they have good magic defense. I don't think dwarves need. I don't believe. Mitch and I talked about this in our post game yesterday a bit. I don't think you need a wizard in the old world. We talked about this in post game last week a little bit too, where Lucas said I'd probably bring one to a tournament every time, but I have some lists that I probably wouldn't even bother bringing a wizard to, that I would bring to a tournament. So I don't think. What's the Discord? Liam, you know the Discord? Liam, just go to you're on this YouTube channel. Go click on your perks tab. Go to the member section, and then your perks tab. You'll have a invite to the Discord. But I don't think wizards are necessary for every list. And if you're playing against level 4 and you have no wizards, I think you can do just fine. In fact, maybe I'll play Wednesday without a wizard at all. Kind of show it off that you have 200 to 400 extra points your opponent doesn't have to run down their throat. High elf don't need better armor. They still be T3. They just die the same. But I mean, like T3 is average toughness. Like most things in this game are T3. I took an orc shaman and a block of frenzied orcs, and the dwarf had an anvil. He didn't get a single cast in a spell, only 2 of mine. That's anecdotal. Those are dice. I was chatting with Peachy today, and what were you guys chatting about? No Wizard Wednesday? We're doing Whipping Out Wednesdays. I would pay 15 points per spear with full plate. No chance. That's a 3-up armor save? Yeah, okay, I would too. That's probably too cheap, actually. I forgot you had that shields. Getting the nice 4-up armor, 3-up armor save. 15 points on a Elven Spearman. Yeah, I'd pay that. Yeah. T4 is more on average? That's just not true. T3 is the average in this game. T4 is above average toughness in Warhammer the Old World. Not sure if you touched this. Can you use an Ether Blade on magical attacks? Yeah, why not? Why would you think that you couldn't? In fact, the only reason why I answered that question so quickly is because I played against Ether Blade yesterday. Vestigors are 15. I'm not sure what you're saying, but Vestigors have strength, toughness 4, weapon skill 4, primal fury, heavy armor, and a great weapon. That's you get a lot for that 15 points if they're 15 points. T4 is awesome, T3 is normal. Yep. That's not how averages work, Nemo. You take. If you remove monsters from the equation, because these are going to be outliers. Oh, you probably could leave them in. Doesn't really matter. But if you move, we're talking about infantry and cavalry in the game. The vast majority of them are T3. Some are T4, and like almost none are T5. And then you count up how many that is total, and you divide them up. Your average is going to be 3. You don't need lower than 3 for 3 not to be average. That's not how it works. And skinks are T2. The human state trooper profile is the average, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Whip out Wizard Wednesdays, there we go. GW isn't that great, and most of what they'll be going into. Wait, GW isn't that great versus most of what the I don't know what we're talking about. They died to Cav really, really hard. Bestigors suck. Oh, talk about Bestigors. Urk. It's probably not the Bestigors. It's probably the way you're playing them. Can I tell you? Most infantry with like 5 up armor is gonna get crushed by cavalry. Doesn't mean they suck. No, Zach, you're T2. It'll be under 3.4, Matthew. Without doing the math, it'll be under 3.4, so that's 3. The vast majority of the models in the game are tough as 3. The vast majority. Now, I have one more question for you guys, actually. Is there any other leaked things for the old world floating around the internet that I'm not aware about? So basically, I'm aware of no leaks other than these now dwarf dice. I don't know if they want me talking about leaks, but that's okay. This is my channel. I want to talk about leaks. Do we have anything else floating around in their pictures that I don't know about? How does Primal Fury work? Do you roll it every... Yeah, you roll it every turn. It's hard for any infantry in the Beastman list compared to Gores. Just so... Yeah, Gores... Okay, my opinion on Beastmen is you could probably increase the point cost of every model in that book by like 10%, and they're still going to be amazing. Beastmen seem a little too cheap, but they also don't win every game, so maybe that's not the case. But Gores are really efficient. Caveman, thank you. Caveman ran down. It's 3.1. Isn't that pi? I'm not the leak, I swear. Let's see dwarf leaks. Just a picture of dice. You can probably find it online. If you're in the Discord, Matthew, go in the Discord. There's a picture of him in the general chat. It's just it's a pale gray, stonish blue die with gold pips. Very dwarven. All the second edition does lead, please enlighten us. Okay, so wait a minute. Scott, go in the Discord. Get in the Discord. There's a picture of the dice in the Discord. Editor, okay, so one, I don't think Ambush is all that good, and Luca keeps trying it. I think if you're going to argue to nerf any army right now, it's Beastmen, even though I don't think they're going to dominate the competitive... No, maybe, I don't know. So, obviously, I have no data to back up. These are just my experiences and opinions. So, we were talking about doing Throwdown Thursday game where Luca was going to bring a Vampire Count Dragon, the 9 Blood Knights, the level 4 Necromancer that follows them behind, a really strong Vampire Count list, and I was supposed to make something that can play it. And I made a bunch of different lists from a bunch of different factions. I'm like, Bretonia could probably handle it okay, and Hylos can do a couple of dragon things that are pretty cool to handle it. But I'm like, Beastman handles it too well. I'll play Beastman. Like, I have 3 Gorgons, and it's like, oh crap, I don't like this list. This list needs to be toned down in power. Like, I started thinking maybe if one army needs to be toned down, it's Beastman. Only because of what they could do, not what you do in every list. So I don't know. Do I think anything needs to be buffed right now? I don't know. But things that might need to be nerfed that I'm watching are Necromancers bringing back 5 Blood Knights a turn. Indomitable on undead dragons seems to be a bit much, but not saying overpowered right now. And some beastman lists look gross. You can't count Luca running beastman as their don't win every game. I know. Luca, he loves the spirit of the game, or the spirit of the army. And beastmen are supposed to encircle you and surround you. Empire State Troops need something. I don't disagree with that statement completely. I think Empire State Troops with spears are fine. I think they're actually more than fine. I think State Troops with halberds or hand weapons seem very uninteresting. Looks like Necrons are coming and they need oil. I couldn't find the trailer. Skaven War Machines need buff? No, they do not. Skavens, like, I hate how many stipulations they have, but I think they kind of need them. Skaven's an army that, like, so a couple of things can need. Even War Machines do not need buffing at all. Maybe a couple of them need to be nerfed. How many games do you actually play, David? You know, everything in the game got kind of toned down. And the Skaven War Machines didn't get toned down as much as everything else. Which is a problem if you, for example, had a collection of swordsmen. No, Chili, I get you. No, I'm with you. And the State Troop thing, the spear is a damn good weapon. It's the core rules of the game that made halberdiers, which is supposed to be their mainstay battle line or core unit, uninteresting. And spears, sorry, hand weapons still. Yeah, you're right. No, I play with spears, proxy. Lizard mini bust, hey, man, dice. Giant rats, Wolfric, buddy, terrifying. And even their, well, I think people gotta give Skaven more of a chance. I think Skaven, they don't have the obvious power they had previously, but I think they're damn good right now. Orc and Goblin, they say pretty 6. I don't know if I can use them because on camera, I think they're gonna show up on camera. All right, we're winding down. There's not a whole. We're just rambling. BCs have a high floor, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. I'm just rambling about nonsense, so we can end it. We can see you guys on Wednesday for the next stream. I'll try to play a game without a wizard at all. Flamethrower still questionable? No, it's so good. No, it's so good, Matthew. Oh, it's so good. Would hand weapon, shield, and halberd not cost points be a fix? Hand weapon and shield already doesn't cost it. So basically lower the point cost of those models by 1. I still don't think I'm interested in them. Yeah. Still no. Alright, that's it.